Yeah.
It's George.
It's Elaine.
Come on up.
Hey, Vinny, listen to...
I never heard anything like this in my life. Listen to this.
This is exciting! This is exciting! Huh? Did I miss anything already?
Kramer, get in.
Where's the crazy man?
Hey! Sit down. Come on, it's about to start.
Hello. Oh, hello. You remember Vinny and Matt from Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinny, and this is Matt.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well.
Feels like it's been a long time.
It has been. We've got just way too much to talk about today. This is one of our hour-long episodes that we take like 2.5 hours to talk about.
All right.
So I'm in the Midwest, Indiana, to be specific, visiting my parents over Easter, and it was my wife's spring break, yada, yada. We were there during the week.
Nodding off.
And I get back to New Jersey, where I live, and specifically Montclair, New Jersey. And I'm on a hike with one of my friends, and she's like, hey, Stephen Colbert and Jerry Seinfeld were in town recently. Stephen Colbert actually lives in Montclair.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait, oh no, it was Comedians in Cars, wasn't it? And I Google it, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, I bet you they filmed at Bluestone, this little restaurant that's just a block away from where I live. My wife and I go there for breakfast all the time. Vinny, you've been there?
Yes, I have.
And sure enough, that's where they filmed. They filmed an upcoming episode of Comedians in Cars, a block away from my place, in a restaurant, a little cafe that I always go to, while I was in with my parents.
Okay, so you were out of town at that time. You weren't even in the vicinity.
But the thing is we were supposed to come home on that day, and we most likely would have gone there. You know, all these could have, would have.
Well, this is what you get for living in Indiana.
Yeah. But that day when I found out, after our hike, I found out what they ordered. We went there for brunch, and I talked to the server. He's always the same server, and he happened to wait on Jerry and Steven. He said they're both really nice guys. Mm-hmm. I wanted to know what they ordered, and he said they both got coffee, obviously, and omelets. Jerry's omelet was, he said mozzarella with a side of tomato and some hot sauce.
Okay. While
Steven got just ham and cheese with his.
Oh, yeah.
That's good stuff. Mm-hmm. When I texted you that, you responded back, oh, that sounds delicious. Which one were you talking about?
Actually, the mozzarella with tomato sounded really interesting. I'd like to try that.
With a little kick to it.
Give me a Jerry Seinfeld.
Hopefully that's what turns up in the episode. It's not like we got the wrong information, but I don't think he had a reason to lie. He had photos with Jerry.
Of course.
Yeah, he was really excited. Really nice guy. But yeah, if anyone's in like the New Jersey area, you should check out Bluestone. It's not worth making a huge trek for, but in a town that's filled with a lot of nice people, but a lot of yuppies, Bluestone is a really nice place because it's very normal, average food, good prices.
It's really got some charm to it.
Yeah, without being like, oh my god, have you tried these Marionberry pancakes?
Okay.
You know.
Speaking of Comedians in Cars, you got any more news on the show?
Yeah, well, actually, thanks to Michael Jones.
Michael Jones!
Probably our biggest Facebook contributor. This is our kind of guy. Yeah. Okay. He shared a link on Facebook about the upcoming series of Comedians in Cars. Obviously, we just talked about Stephen Colbert, but the lineup for season 6, which premieres in July, I think. Or, I'm sorry, June. Huge. We've got Jim Carrey, which That's probably
huge already.
Yeah, right there. So excited for that one. You've got Steve Harvey, host of Family Feud. Mm-hmm. You've got Bill Maher. Mm-hmm. We've also got Trevor Noah, the new Daily Show host. And probably the biggest one, Vinny, who do we got?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
It's only a matter of time.
Yes, finally. Excited. Very excited.
Are you crying?
No.
I was walking home from the train station, and I was thinking we had Larry first.
He was the first episode.
First episode, and then that season ended with Michael. You have that Super Bowl spot with not Jason, but George Costanza.
Right.
And now that we have Julia coming up, I feel like we need to go back to Jason, but get the real Jason, not George.
Now, it'd be fun if, the dynamic of this show is always one-on-one. If he could break that mold for one episode, like a finale or something, have the Fab Four come back, and then the four of them sit in the car together, and they go to they would have to go to Tom's, I would hope.
Banya, you're killing me.
I'm just coming up with these ideas are right there for the plucking.
Just open my mouth and out they come. Yeah. That sounds like a pretty nice idea. I was thinking too, if they did Jason, would they do it in New York because he's doing Fish in the Dark now, or would they go back to LA where he lives? But yeah, man, that's a nice idea. If they do a finale for Comedians in Cars, it's got to be Tom's Restaurant, all five for that matter, similar to the Round Table.
That's true.
On the DVD set, is that where it was?
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, Comedians in Cars, Getting Coffee, season 6 with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, June 4th. So, I'm sure we'll talk about that when it airs on Crackle. Vinny, what else do we have going on this week? Anything major? But since we have one of these, just epic episodes this week, do you want to get started?
Yes, please.
All right. Well, yeah, back to you. What are we discussing today?
We are discussing the 3rd and 4th episodes of Season 4, The Pitch and The Ticket, written by Larry David, directed by Tom Sharonis, and originally aired September 16th, 1992.
Now this, I know it's episodes 3 and 4, but for me, this is like the beginning of Season 4. This is truly the premiere, I think. And
Agreed.
The start of perhaps the greatest arc in the entire series. It's debatable, and there's actually not many arcs to choose from, but this one I think it's a good one. So let's see where we can start on some trivia here. Let's kick it off with behind the scenes. So we have Warren Littlefield, then president of NBC, who seems like a really nice guy. Whenever I watch him in interviews, he seems like
very sweet,
and just the way we can talk about all the execs, I guess, this episode. But yeah, it just seems like he has a gentle way of speaking. Mm-hmm. He enunciates. He seems like a nice guy.
Unlike us.
I'm like, you're fine, man.
Oh, shut your mouth.
No, when I edit this show, I'm like, man, I got to learn how to talk like Vinny. But he pretty much gave Larry and Jerry, quote unquote, license to do what they wanted this season, and I think that was because ratings were really good. They hadn't hit that stride yet, but critics seemed to like it. They had that niche audience. And obviously, Larry and Jerry were the right men for the job, and they created this, just brilliant show. Hey, let's let them have some fun this season. And this is when Larry had the idea, well, hey, since Jerry is a regular comedian who got this pilot deal a few years ago, wouldn't it be feasible that TV Jerry would also get a pilot deal? So that's, pretty much the origin.
Oh, it's very feasible.
We'll get to Glenn Padnick and Jason Alexander's thoughts, but for right now, let's just talk about Season 4 and really the beginning of sort of these zany ideas, such as the pilot arc. I have a clip here of Jerry Seinfeld.
We weren't really trying to gain more attention, or we certainly weren't trying to be provocative in any way. We were just, as any TV show is, constantly struggling to come up with new ideas. And when you're struggling, bad ideas start to sound like good ideas. And crazy ideas start to sound like sane ideas. And that's what happened in Season 4, is a lot of crazy ideas started to make sense.
I like that a lot.
He has a really good way of explaining it for us common folk. I feel like this justifies a lot of the Season 7, 8, and 9 arcs, especially when Larry leaves, because it seems like Jerry, when he was the lone producer once Larry left and so many ideas came through him, it seems like he just wanted to have fun.
Right.
He wasn't married to the idea of, this show needs to be really grounded in reality and really relatable ideas. We can, go for it.
He didn't want to keep it in a box or keep it formulaic, I guess. So let's branch out. Let's do an episode where a frog tries to cross the street.
How do you feel about that idea, that concept of crazy ideas, sounding like good ideas? And do you think that works for Seinfeld? Are you glad we have this sort of wide, spectrum of episodes, or do you prefer...
Well, as much as I love the first 3 seasons and I love how real they are and how much they imitate real life that we can relate to, yeah, it's wonderful to see where the show went as a result of having these bad ideas become sane ideas.
Right.
And even, as we'll discuss, Jason did not think this was a good idea for the show to go in this direction because it would not be relatable to the audience. And as soon as they started rehearsing, he said, "I'm dead wrong. This is funny.
Dead
Let's
wrong.
go." Dead wrong. So this was perfect.
Yeah, we'll get to that right now. Actually, I love that Jason is so outspoken and not saying he's cynical or he's being pessimistic, but I think he was totally justified for not feeling like this was the good idea or the right direction to go into.
He expresses his feelings, but when he realizes he's wrong, he'll be the first to admit it.
Mm-hmm. So, Jason, you mentioned Glenn Padnick, the exec at Castle Rock, who we've brought up many times. He has that classic laugh that I think is heard at least once in every episode.
Probably.
Glenn thought the concept of doing a pilot was too, inside baseball. Not a lot of people would get it. And Jason, on the other hand, thought it was, too self-aggrandized or self-congratulatory. And he honestly just thought people wouldn't get it. I think that was his big concern. This isn't just going to click with audiences. So here's go ahead.
The funny thing nowadays is that the inside baseball motif is very popular and people want that peek behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. So I say this all the time, and I'm probably biased, but I feel like a precedent was set with this kind of story arc.
I would agree 100%. Let's play this clip from Jason.
When it was presented that season 4 was going to have an arc, and that the arc was going to be the creation of the Jerry Show, I thought we had taken a step in the wrong direction. Knew it would be funny. I knew it would be funny, but I did think, okay, we're on a high. It wasn't a high horse because we weren't quite yet the mega hit, but it was very self-congratulatory in a way, and again, not in this world of stuff that everybody could relate to. Until we started doing it, and then the minute Bob Balaban showed up, I went, I'm wrong. There's so many things that I thought about the series, and I said categorically, you can't do that. It's just wrong. I was wrong. In each and every case, I was just wrong.
Jason actually was not a fan of the Briss episode. That was one that he had troubles with for personal reasons. But there was another episode, I think. It must have been The Pen when he wasn't in it that he had issues with. Mm-hmm. We talked about him confronting Larry and saying, hey, if you're going to do that again, do it for good. It sounds like out of the 4, Jason, I don't want to say takes his work most seriously. That probably goes to Michael. But yes. Jason is really, I think, cautious, and I think he's always looking out for, himself. I think it's easy to get maybe forgotten or overlooked or things to go down the wrong path. He's probably seen it before in his experience. Mm-hmm. So I like it. I like that he's just always cautious of this sort of stuff and sharing his opinion because it matters.
Yeah. There's a little bit of opposition in a way, but that creates this brilliance that we see on screen. He's not just going along, He's presenting his opinion, but it seems like he trusts Larry wholeheartedly, And
I can't think of another actor on the show that is more unlike the character they play.
Yeah.
Because, when you look at George and you look at Jason in interviews, it's just two completely different people.
Night and day.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's another bit of trivia. We have a list of some ideas that were planned for this season. Nothing major, nothing like, oh my God, like Kramer dies. It's just sort of ideas relating to the NBC pilot arc that never really materialized. Let's see. One idea was that George would begin writing down his conversations to use in the pilot.
I love that already because that's Larry David to a T.
The notebook, carrying around
his little notebook and his pen, and any idea that strikes him, he's going to put in that notebook. So that one I really like.
So we'd probably see that. I think the most reoccurring scene in this season is the image of Jerry and George on the couches with their notepads. All right, Seinfeld apartment.
You and me. Here we go.
Scene one. Seen it. So this would be like that kind of joke. Another idea was that the pilot would wind up being rewritten by someone other than George and Jerry, which I'm sure is very accurate.
And that was Larry not wanting them to touch his baby, for lack of a better word. And he got upset. If they put any rewrites in there, he said he didn't even acknowledge them. He just went with what his gut told him.
And then there was another one that included a Jerry failing to help George fight for his material. So maybe George would be Larry, right? And George would be, really passionate defending his stuff, and Jerry would just kind of take a back seat. Did that happen in real life?
That I don't recall. And that the one kind of strikes me as odd that Jerry would not go to bat for George. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they didn't include that one.
this is a bizarre one. In the casting session, which I think is the one in the pilot, right? Where we have like Tom Pepper. So Kramer would not get cast. I don't know if that means the role of Kramer or...
No, I think the person Kramer would not get cast as the character Kramer.
Okay, and then he would wind up having like a sexual harassment charge against someone. I don't know how that would have played into. We don't have enough info on it, but...
Right. That one sounds a little far-fetched, and unlike the character of Kramer to do that.
Right.
Finally, the person Kramer in the show would want money for Jerry and George using his name in the pilot.
Now that sounds right.
Mimics real life Kenny Kramer wanting royalties as a result of his name and likeness being used in the show. And the last line of the outline states, George can't handle success, which is, again, Larry David. So Larry David is quoting, I wish the show would get canceled. I begged Jerry to quit with me and let's just leave this all. Mm-hmm. And each year got picked up, and he had to come back for more.
Is there a point in the season where George doesn't want to do it, like where he panics? I think it's with Dana Foley. I think there's like a therapy session when he...
Yeah. Going into the meeting, he said, I can't do this. It's impossible. I've tried to psych myself up. But yeah.
Good point. I like these ideas, but I don't think any of them had to be in the episode.
Yeah.
It would have been a nice inside joke to see, again, George with the notebook.
And I like the Kenny Kramer, the name usage arc as well.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Even though these are two different episodes, two separate scripts, they were filmed and aired together as 1 hour-long special. And it actually aired at the same time as Home Improvement. Do you remember Home Improvement? Oh, God.
Yes, I do.
Oh, suddenly it's 1992.
It's coming back.
Apparently, Home Improvement beat Seinfeld in the ratings, which just blows my mind. There was a time when, again, Seinfeld was not number one, and there were far, inferior shows that were trumping.
You don't have to say inferior.
Oh, you don't?
Home Improvement was a nice show.
Really?
Tim Allen, Wilson. Remember Pamela Anderson was on there. I know she was. No, but I'm just saying, that was one of the draws. But you had
JTT.
Wilson, Al Borland. Yes, he was huge with the kids. Teen Bopper.
Good point. Yeah, it was okay. I think as a kid, I would have preferred that show or anything they showed on like TGIF.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I wanted a little more, maturity, a little more sophistication.
Of course.
In Seinfeld. One other bit of trivia here before we get started. The ticket, the second part, quote unquote, of this hour-long special is one of Wayne Knight's favorite episodes.
Yeah. He liked being able to delve into Newman's conscious and kind of see what he was all about. It's, particularly the scene when him and Kramer are outside the courtroom and they're kind of scheming over their lie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Newman really evolves as a character in this season.
Oh, yeah.
It's particularly this episode where he just gets... We're going to be playing a lot of clips this week.
Wayne Knight kills it in these 2 episodes.
It's insane. That image of him when Kramer's on the stand and he's trying to say like you were trying to kill yourself, but Kramer doesn't get it. And he's like, you were, and he pulls his neck up like he's hanging himself. Whew, good stuff. So shall we?
Yes.
All right.
Parents like to drag kids to these historical sites on vacation. I remember going to Colonial Williamsburg, and you see these supposedly authentic blacksmith there. He's got the 3-cornered hat and the knickers and the Def Leppard T-shirt. My parents took me to the Amish country, which to a kid, to see a bunch of people that have no cars, no TV, no phone, they go, so what? Neither do I. It's just a whole community that's been grounded. And that's the way they should punish the kids after they take them home. All right, son, get up to your room. That's it. I've had it. You are Amish, young man. For the rest of this weekend, did you hear me? Amish. Don't come down till you make some noodles and raise a barn.
Very funny. My parents, just like when I was taking notes on this episode, just went to Williamsburg.
Oh, cool.
Like a week or two prior. You ever done something like that? Pennsylvania Dutch country?
We visited Gettysburg, which is close to there, but never been to Colonial Williamsburg. No. What this reminds me of is the Renaissance Fair, which they have every year in Maryland. And you get that same kind of thing with everybody's wearing the elaborate costumes. But I always notice their shoes. Because sometimes the shoes are dead on, and then other times I see white sneakers.
Pair of Nikes.
That's not real, I also think the equating being grounded to being Amish is a stroke of brilliance. Mm-hmm. The one thing I did not know that the Amish were known for making noodles. I knew about the carpentry and building barns and sheds and whatnot. But are they
Kayak.
out of a log? Are they known for making noodles?
I guess so, right?
All right.
Well, why not?
That's news to me. Also, Jerry goes on to visit Amish country with the girl who's like dating Mad Libs.
Yes.
In, the Frogger episode.
Yes. Oh, another reference to the Frogger.
Yeah.
Quick question. This is one of my annoying questions.
What you got?
When he says, get up to your room, that's it, I've had it, does he say you are Amish, or does he say you are Amished? Because I always thought it was Amished, like you're grounded.
Okay, no.
Okay.
He's Amish, like an Amish person.
I think Amished is better, like, as a verb.
No.
Okay.
Nobody's buying it. You shouldn't be selling it. Let's move on.
All right. So our first scene of the episode.
Terrible.
Are you done?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
For a change.
Yeah, for going after me for once. So first scene of the episode at the Improv Theater, bar, club, whatever you want to call it. Nice seeing this. This is a comedy club we haven't seen before, and I don't think it's still around.
No, they closed it down.
Mm-hmm. This was, at least according to the address out front, 358 West 44th Street, so probably somewhere on, like, I don't know, 9th, 10th Ave, like Hell's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's right around the Westway Diner.
Perfect.
Where
makes sense why Larry and Jerry would go there for a nightcap and discuss the show.
Sure. And I love, we're going inside now, I love this set, the bar. I think they use this bar maybe for other comedy clubs, maybe, but I think it's primarily the Improv.
Yeah, like the fire when George dates the bartender there. I know that takes place there.
Ronnie K.
Yes, nostrils, and as well as when George tries to pick up the woman while he's wearing his ski ticket, his lift ticket.
Oh, the Virgin.
Yes,
Like Stacy, George.
Yes,
Marla. I love the set. It's fantastic. And it, just right off the gate, it made me wonder, why did it take us 3 seasons to get here? Maybe, again, budget was a concern. They wanted to keep things at the apartment and at the cafe. But this seems like the obvious choice for, like, as a primary location for a show.
Yeah.
One that takes place in New York with people in their 30s, but also a comedian.
Yeah, and after Jerry doing one of his sets, this is where he could meet these women that he's always taken on dates, And I thought it was interesting, like George is holding a drink. It's kind of this social bar atmosphere. For people that are in their 30s trying to meet people, it's rare that you see them go to a bar to meet somebody. It's more, I just bumped into somebody, I don't know. It's nice to see them in the setting.
I wonder if that was an idea early on, and again, budget constraints, or if Cheers had something to do with that. They're like, we can't have another NBC show that is on a bar.
Or Cheers' little brother again.
I think shows like How I Met Your Mother have kind of revisited this idea. Let's stay in a bar, pretty much. So first scene here is George and Jerry are talking to a fellow comedian named Tommy. They're talking about Gettysburg, so that links in with what you were saying, Vinny, and Williamsburg.
So this Tommy the comedian is actually played by real-life comedian Steve Scroven. He was actually a comedian who joined the writing staff for Seinfeld in season 4. But he plays Tommy in The Pitch Ticket. He was also a movie patron in the movie. And he played man in restaurant in the pilot.
What?
I know. Well, wait, there's more. He also played police officer number 1 in Curb Your Enthusiasm, the Trick or Treat episode. So when he's describing to Larry, you open the door. That's a social contract. No trick, then treat. That's that guy. And he actually has moved on from acting to producing now. He's done Everybody Loves Raymond, Till Death, and Hot in Cleveland.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That's crazy, man. Nice work.
Thank you.
Hang on, though. Should we play the Double Dipper theme, I guess? Or not?
I don't know. This one's questionable.
So, again, he played Tommy here. Kind of playing himself, I guess.
Correct.
And then...
Movie patron in the movie.
Okay.
And then man in restaurant in the pilot. That's... I don't know about that one.
The other scenes, though, the movie patron, was that with Elaine? Like, was Jerry in the area?
I don't know. I don't know in what context he was in those ones, so we'd have to check.
I always say if a character can't recognize or doesn't recognize him as Tommy, then I think it's okay that he's a double dipper.
Correct. But this one will have to be put off until we get to those shows because I don't know which scene he's in particular.
Okay, well, how about let's do that. We'll just hold off until we get to the movie later this season, I think, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
But do me a favor, save that Double Dipper cue because we got one coming up.
Oh, my goodness, what a tease. That voice, someone's like, hey, Tommy, you're on.
Yeah, who's that?
Oh, who knows? Let's let the audience decide.
Tommy, you're on.
Yeah, Larry David. This is another appearance that I always forget about. Mm-hmm. It's so forgettable for one, but it's subtle.
Yeah, but it's nice.
Mm-hmm. So here we kick off one of the most absurd George topics of the entire series, toilet paper. What did they do for toilet paper in the Civil War?
There's that delivery again when Jason's inquisitive. What did they do with toilet paper? Yes, exactly. And that has to be a total Larry David phenomena of wondering how they got their toilet paper. There's actually a toilet paper encyclopedia if you Google.
Get out of here.
There's a whole website and there's a FAQ and talks about how it was invented and each civilization, what they used.
That's insane. I wonder if the author of that knows about the whole Seinfeld deal because this comes back, the topic of toilet paper, right?
Yes. In
The Face Painter?
Yeah, it inspires George to say he loves a woman.
It's true. He's talking to the crayon lady. What's her name?
Sienna.
He brings up toilet paper, how it hasn't changed much in his lifetime. It won't for the next 50,000 years. But regarding the Civil War, he wants to know, hey, did they carry it in duffel bags? Jerry suggests they gave out big loose clumps to the soldiers. And here, this is perfect. This is when George would have used that, encyclopedia, considering there should be a, historical record of toilet paper.
Exactly.
Even a toilet paper museum.
Excuse me, Jerry? I'm Stu Chermak. I'm from NBC. Could we speak for a few moments?
Sure.
Hi, Jay Crespi.
Hello.
Crespi.
That's right.
I'm unbelievable at spelling last names. Give me your last name.
I'm not
George.
really.
Huh?
All right, fine.
First of all, that was a terrific show.
Oh, thank you very much.
And basically, I just wanted to let you know that we've been discussing you at some of our meetings, and we'd be very interested in doing something.
Really? Wow.
So if you had an idea for, like, a TV show for yourself, well, we'd just love to talk about it.
I'd be very interested in something like that.
Well, here, why don't you give us a call, and maybe we can develop a series.
Okay, great. Thanks.
It was very nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
What was that all about?
I said they were interested in me.
For what?
TV show.
Your own show?
Yeah, I guess so.
They want you to do a TV show?
Well, they want me to come up with an idea. I mean, I don't have any ideas.
Come on, how hard is that? Look at all the junk that's on TV.
So we got NBC exec Stu Chermak. He is played by actor Kevin Page, and this character is actually based on real-life NBC executive Rick Ludwin,
yes,
who is the one known for, quote, championing the show. He's the one who went to bat for Seinfeld. So this guy's huge. At one point, they actually, and the reason this actor Kevin Page was cast was because he resembled Rick Ludwin. There's actually a picture of the two of them standing side by side on set, shaking hands.
I will post that for sure.
Both funny white guy, right? Well, glasses, Anyway, they at one point wanted Rick Ludwin to play himself in the episode. Life imitating art, art imitating life. Yes. Oh God, starting early. But they thought it'd be better to have an actor, so they got Kevin Page. And then the other NBC executive, Jay Crespi, is played by actor Peter Blood, and Jay Crespi is based off former NBC executive Jeremiah Boskang.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard of Jeremiah Boskang.
Nor have I. He's rarely, if ever, this is the first time I'm hearing about him now. He's not referenced throughout the series.
We're not that, I guess, we don't do that much research for the show. No. We try, but that's interesting. I didn't really know a lot about the whole Stu Chermak, Rick Ludwin.
Yeah.
Rick Barr. But when you see this image, as you mentioned, oh my God, they're dead ringers for each other. Oh, yeah.
But now Peter Blood, his only acting credit is this arc on Seinfeld. That's the only thing he's ever done. So he was in The Pitch, The Ticket, The Virgin, The Pilot, and the finale.
Jeez. Does Kevin Page come back in the finale, or do they recast him? No, they keep him, I think, yeah.
But there is continuity thing where they get
Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell to play. This is when Banya is riding the coattails of Jerry.
So you want to hear something crazy? So that's the Butter Shave you're talking about, which is the premiere for season 9.
Yeah.
And I was hosting trivia, and I had we have an ID round where we have images of people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Kevin Page comes back. I might be wrong, unless it's in your... You look that up.
IMDb.
But I know that Chris Parnell from SNL takes over the Peter Blood role. But what they do, and this is so brilliant, they're execs from NBC who want to offer Kenny a pilot deal, but it's almost like the Bizarro world because it's not Stu Shermack and Jay Crespi, it's Stu Crespi and Jay Shermack. They switch the names around.
I did not pick up on that.
Me either,
Bravo.
because I thought it was, again, as you mentioned, like recasting, and I was writing out the answers and I was just double checking. I'm like, oh shit, they switched the names around. So any luck on that Kevin Page? Was he
on IMDb, he's credited as being in the finale.
But not the Butter Shave.
Correct.
Okay, so they did get a new...
Now, I'm going to look up the Butter Shave real quick.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to just talk a little bit about this whole Rick Ludwin stuff here. I have a little bit of trivia. Apparently, Kevin Page, as Rick Ludwin, used to play the role kind of... What comes to mind, and we mentioned this at the top regarding Warren Littlefield, when I think of execs, I think of like loud, energetic, kind of pushy. But apparently Larry had to pull Kevin Page, again, who played Stu Shermack, aside and said, no, you're hitting fooled wrong. But he tells him that he needs to pull it back a little bit. And, quote, you need to truly believe everything you're saying because you're playing Rick Ludwin, who is, not soft-spoken, but again, like seems gentle, nice, and believes everything he says.
And he believes in Seinfeld. That's the important part.
Yeah. And you get that vibe if you watch an interview with Rick Ludwin or if you see Kevin Page's performance. He's like,
yes,
that was a terrific show.
Yeah.
you believe him.
So in the Butter Shave, there's just 2 credits. There's NBC Executive and NBC Executive. Chris Parnell and Matthew Fonda play those NBC execs.
So there you go. A little bit of trivia. Stu Shermack, Jay Crespi, this episode, Butter Shave, Stu Crespi, Jay Shermack.
That's awesome.
Right.
And then the originals come back to reprise their roles in the finale, which is brilliant.
Right. So let's go over some ideas here, I guess, that George has for Jerry regarding the pilot.
Before you get there, though, I got to say that George, again, is a schmuck for... They want you for a TV show? He can't be happy for his friend. It's always a put down with George.
I'm surprised George isn't really excited for Jerry, actually.
Well, it's amazing how he's just going to hop on and be like, I'll write it with you, not even ask. He just, we go,
So what are these ideas here, Vinny? You wanna take them?
The first one, you coach a gymnastics team in high school and you're married and your son's not interested in gymnastics and you're pushing him into gymnastics.
Well, gymnastics is not for everyone.
But you're a gymnastics teacher. It's only natural.
Then they move on to another one.
He's like, all right, maybe that idea is not for you. Okay, here's another one. You run an antique store, and people come into the store, and you get involved in their lives.
I don't have all the lines in front of me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well,
Jerry doesn't like that one either.
Jerry
right?
says, why would a person running an antique store get involved in people's lives? He's like, why not? And Jerry says, so somebody comes in to buy an old lamp, and suddenly I'm getting them out of a jam. And then he says, I could see if I was a pharmacist, because a pharmacist knows what's wrong with everybody. Yes, Jerry. Yes, they do.
For those that don't know, Vinny is a pharmacist. So I think you're so special. That is true, though. You don't see any TV shows centered around pharmacy. Could you see a sitcom take place at the pharmacy where you work? Or
it might be tough to get a bunch of material centered around the pharmacist. But there's a movie, actually, with Sam Rockwell and Olivia Wilde called Better Off Through Chemistry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Where he plays a straight-laced pharmacist in a mom-and-pop pharmacy in a nice town, and it's a nice little comedy. It's dark, but I enjoyed it.
Huh.
So if you want to peek at pharmacy, check that movie out.
This whole criticism of the antique store idea, though, I just suddenly help these people out of a jam. That just seems like a commentary on most sitcoms, just like how absurd they all are. And
exactly.
It's like, what? We were all over the place. This makes no sense. Eventually, though, we get to the end of the scene, and I don't have all the dialogue, but we get one of my favorite exchanges between Jerry and George. Yep. Do you know what I'm going to get at here? I think we do this from time to time.
I know, but antiques are very popular right now.
No, they used to be.
Oh, yeah, like you know.
Oh, like you do.
There it is.
Is that it? Okay.
That's it. Yeah. You want to try it again?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
We'll spare everyone.
Now, keep in mind, this is the end of this scene, but they're going to bring this back at the end of the ticket as the last line of the show. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple callbacks throughout these 2 episodes that are grouped together, which is really nice, and it pays off, and it's very rewarding. But this is one that's going to end the show as well.
Part of me was wondering if we should cover both episodes this week. Even though they aired together and I
thought that's how you were doing
together.
it. We're not doing it like that?
No, I am, but because I thought these were 2 very different episodes, but it's not true. This really does feel like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Like you can see the break when, Kramer brings in the dented helmet halfway through where you would normally have, kind of like the credits. Mm-hmm. You can see it. You can see exactly where they'd cut, but I think this episode totally works as an hour long. And almost is better as an hour long.
Yeah, to me, it's always an hour long, especially the way it's grouped on the DVD. I do look forward when I see this. It's the pitch / the ticket.
Yes. That whole back and forth, though, like you do. Like you do. Oh, God, so good.
Yep.
I just love to think that Larry and Jerry said that.
I hope so.
So our next scene is Jerry's apartment, and now Kramer is taking over the George role and pitching Jerry ideas on the pilot. This one, he's the manager of a circus, and he's trying to sell Jerry on the idea of all of these interesting freak characters. Who do we got? What kind of characters?
We got a woman with a mustache. Who wouldn't tune in to see that? And then you got the tallest man in the world and a guy who's just ahead. Can you play that noise after that?
A guy who's just ahead?
We were talking about this before we recorded. Michael makes so many interesting noises this episode.
Yes. And the face he makes when he does the guy who's just ahead is it's priceless.
He tries to, again, sell the point. The show isn't about the circus. It's about watching freaks. And, people want to watch freaks. This is a can't miss. And at the time, 1992, I'm sure that was really funny. And it still is, but it's so true. Like, I'm a little biased towards most TV, but when I think of reality TV, for example, and like the celebrity culture we live in, it's all about watching freaks in a sense and looking at how weird people are or looking down at people. And specifically, a much better show than reality TV shows, American Horror Story did a freak show season recently.
There is some sort of like oddity reality show. I don't know what the name of it is, but I recall seeing something.
Like Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. I got a little too deep maybe with my thoughts on
That's okay.
like
That's
the Kardashians and whatnot.
Now, did you take notice of the lighting in Jerry's apartment, how bright and vibrant it looks? We mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but it just looks different. It's crisp.
Crisp. Shut up, George. Yeah, no, I see that, and I think that's why I like season 4 so much because it's not as
polished to it,
but not as polished as later seasons.
Yes.
Like when you watch later, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? And then early seasons can be a little too dingy, I think, for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, season 4, it's that just right
sweet spot.
Mm-hmm. So Newman enters, and he's carrying a motorcycle helmet, which he's going to trade for Kramer's radar detector. I always called that a fuzzbuster. Is that, I guess, the slang term?
I've never heard that word, ever.
Well, it's Indiana talk, I guess.
And Newman, I didn't know you had a motorcycle.
My girlfriend had one.
You have a girlfriend?
I had a girlfriend, and she was pretty wild.
I never remember you with a girl.
Nevertheless, again, we should do the whole show.
Yeah, I know. That's all people tune in for. Now, let me ask you this. You think the girlfriend he's referring to, who we have never seen, you think that's Margaret from The Big Salad? The girl
100%.
Oh, yeah. The girl that Jerry would go on to date and find he was so puzzled by what Newman found objectionable about her that it cost him the relationship?
Right. Yeah. It makes total sense. Why wouldn't it be? Because it kind of seems like Newman might be lying here without
it's
that
funny.
episode.
Jerry calls him on it, and Newman feels the need to justify himself. I had a girlfriend.
Right.
Because I only think of two girls that Newman dated, Margaret and then the girl that he wished for when he had his birthday wish on the cover of that magazine.
Yes. You know the secret about zip codes? They're meaningless. No, I think this totally could be Margaret. I mean, why not? It makes total sense. Perfect. And if you think that Newman wouldn't have a lot of girlfriends, then it would make sense that the one we know about later would be that. So before Kramer goes over to his place to get the radar detector, he's like, hey, you two coming to my party? And they're like, yeah, sure. So we got that seed planted. But while he's gone, Jerry kind of realizes, hey, this is a pretty bad deal for Kramer, a motorcycle helmet for a piece of technology. But Newman, tells Jerry, hey, don't say anything.
Hey, you're getting gypped over here. Really? Huh.
Hey, we had a deal. Are you reneging out of the deal? Are you reneging? That's a renege.
Oh, stop saying reneging.
Well, you're reneging.
Okay, I'm not reneging.
All right, give it to me. All right, let go.
Well, we can only go on three.
Give me that. Just give me that.
Break it.
Here, idiots.
Thanks, buddy. So long.
Does that thing work? Nah.
What struck me about this scene is it's palpable how mean Jerry is to Newman. When Newman walks in, when he first enters the apartment, he says, what do you want?
Yeah.
And then Newman says, don't say anything, and he completely turns on him.
Yeah.
At a moment's notice. And yet, we still love Jerry and dislike Newman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice how Jerry can get away with that. He's still likable despite being really awful to Newman.
Yeah. I kind of like the Newman character. I feel bad for him, and I think he's likable, but I don't ever see the evil side of him the way Jerry sees it. This might be the first time we see Newman do that evil laugh and then scamper off. Mm-hmm. That's sort of I feel like a move that he's known for. Mm-hmm. Also, does Kramer look like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber when he's on the little moped?
Now that you mention it, yes, he does.
And that little white helmet.
It's that helmet.
So we're now at Monk's. We're getting some, every scene, different location. I like it.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, Jerry and George. Oh,
Ruthie Cohen's at the register.
Should we bring her up every time we go to Monk's?
If we see her?
Yeah, if we can remember her for the next 150 episodes. Jerry and George sit down for lunch, and another little story element here. Jerry's like, hey, I got a postcard from Elaine, who is on a trip across Europe with her psychiatrist. We'll be checking in with Elaine twice this episode, I think.
And at one point in the scene, Jerry imagined how Elaine's relationship with her psychiatrist began. And he's quoted as saying, one day she came into his office and the psychiatrist said, oh, Elaine, don't you see this is torture for me? I've been waiting for years for someone like you to come along to take advantage of. Oh. To hell with my career, rules, regulations. That means nothing to me now. Yes, I took an oath, but that was before you came along. You may be mad, but I'm mad about you. Mad about you! Oh. Thursdays on NBC. Shameless plug. That was weird. I guess he's being facetious in the way he's speaking about the doctor taking advantage of Elaine. Is that kind of the joke?
I think so. Just because it's I always feel like I'm going to say something so innocent and it's going to offend at least one person out there.
Yep.
But I don't think it's healthy to date your psychiatrist. Am I wrong? Any questions?
The fact that he says someone like you to come along to take advantage of, that's when I think Jerry's joking.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think he's just saying how bizarre the whole nature is.
Okay.
I think this might be Elaine's weirdest boyfriend in terms of just not why, we could maybe get into the psychiatry of a sitcom character, but your psychiatrist, that just seems like a recipe for disaster, as we'll come to know, I guess, in next week's episode.
Yeah, yes.
And here we go, Vinny. We're going to get into one of the all-time classic Seinfeld scenes that, we're not going to do it justice. Maybe we could talk a little bit here about the salsa and the seltzer, which is great.
You better play the clip.
Should I play this whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to be 2 or 3 minutes long. Heads
Enjoy.
up.
Why don't they have salsa on the table?
What do you need salsa for?
Salsa is now the #1 condiment in America.
Do you know why? Because people like to say salsa. Excuse me, do you have any salsa? We need more salsa. Where's the salsa? No salsa.
It must be impossible for a Spanish person to order salsa and not get salsa. I wanted salsa!
salsa, not salsa.
Don't you know the difference between salsa and salsa? You have the salsa after the salsa.
See, this should be the show. This is the show.
What?
This. Just talking.
Yeah, right.
I'm really serious. I think that's a good idea.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
It's about nothing.
No story?
No, forget the story.
You gotta have a story.
Who says you gotta have a story? Remember when we were waiting for that table in that Chinese restaurant that time? That could be a TV show.
And who's on the show? Who are the characters?
I could be a character.
You?
Yeah, you base a character on me.
So on the show, there's a character named George Costanza?
Yeah. What, there's something wrong with that? I'm a character. People are always saying to me, you're quite a character.
And who else is on the show?
Elaine could be a character. Kramer.
Now, he's a character. So everybody I know is a character on the show.
Right.
And it's about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
So you're saying I go into NBC and tell them I got this idea for a show about nothing.
We go into NBC.
We? Since when are you a writer?
What writer? We're talking about a sitcom.
You want to go with me to NBC?
Yeah, I think we really got something here.
What do we got?
An idea.
What idea?
An idea for the show.
I still don't know what the idea is.
It's about nothing.
Right.
Everybody's doing something. We'll do nothing.
So we go into NBC, we tell them we got an idea for a show about nothing.
Exactly.
They say, what's your show about? I say nothing.
There you go.
I think you may have something here.
I think it goes without saying, the scene, but this episode as a whole is a perfect show to show someone who's never seen Seinfeld. Because not only is it an entertaining episode, or 2 episodes for that matter, but it encapsulates the entire show, the essence of the show. This is the 2 friends sitting down, discussing minutia and, poking fun. You get a breakdown of the series without even knowing it.
Part of me feels the same way. This is a great first episode, but then I feel like it's more rewarding if you've seen some episodes leading up to it.
It is.
At least the pilot, the finale for the season. You have to see, at least the whole season.
I agree with you. Also, the scene mimics the conversation that Jerry and Larry had in 1988. In real life, though, they went to a Korean market and they began picking up products off the shelves and just making fun of them. Mm-hmm. And that's when I believe Larry said to Jerry, "This should be the show, making fun of stuff."
Mm-hmm. There's really nothing really to say about this scene that's other than it's just a classic. It's one of the best. I never understood the whole salsa thing at the beginning in terms of salsa being the #1 condiment in America. I would assume in America it would always be ketchup, but that's my only note on the on the scene.
Ketchup's back on top now.
This is the kind of scene I feel like that did change sitcoms in general.
Yes,
I hate using the word meta, but that's exactly what's going on here. It's just taking a step back. This is really when the show, I think, acknowledges we are a show, and it's almost like everyone's in on the joke, despite what Glenn and Jason thought it would be to Inside Baseball. It's almost like the doors opened for an even bigger audience to come in and share in the joke.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, they even reference old episodes. Remember that time in the Chinese restaurant? So if you were following along up until this point, you know exactly what they're talking about. And I think it pulls you in more.
Yes, absolutely. So next scene is at Jerry's apartment. And here, again, very similar to the one before. Jerry's trying to sell the idea to Kramer. And, hey, one of the characters is going to be based on you. And Kramer's just, I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
Well, he eventually budges, right? And he says, okay, you can base a character on me. The caveat is, though, I got to play Kramer.
You can't play Kramer.
Why not? You can't act.
Yeah, exactly. In an earlier draft, Kramer would say, "Hey, I know a little bit about TV business. I know how they do those characters. Everything's all over-exaggerated and stupid. They'll get some guy who makes all kinds of faces and bumps into things. I'll be a laughingstock." As Kramer's delivering that line, though, he is to bump into something and trip.
Oh, okay.
Which is really perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
But that was cut.
I could see why. It's a little unnecessary, but that's a clever observation for Kramer to make.
Yes.
Maybe a little too above his normal routine. It is kind of sad though that Jerry's like, you can't act, and this is coming right off of the trip when Kramer was trying to pursue acting.
And that was another thing I thought. Does it really not sit well with Kramer, or is he just kind of using it because he still wants to be an actor? Is he kind of manipulating Jerry so that he can get a chance to play this role?
I think, for the big fans like us, we could link the two together. But to me, this comes off more like Kenny Kramer. You know what I mean?
Wanting to profit from it, or
be involved more than he should be, or at least Larry thinks he should be. Only because like LA doesn't really come up, but I think it's there for the fans. So Newman enters, and he's not happy. He was driving home on the Palisades Parkway when he looked in the mirror and he saw the fuzz, which is funny because he had this radar detector on, and it should have detected the police with a series of beeps and flashing lights.
That's queer, huh?
I want my helmet back.
Newman's rant was actually longer in an earlier draft. He said, "You'll be sorry. Misfortune will cast a shadow across your path. Uneasy lies the head that wears the helmet. And one more thing. I'm not coming to your party."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
He
kind of got away with words, too.
He really does. And he has something kind of similar in the finale when he has this sort of revelations kind of speech to Jerry about how his world will come crumbling down.
Yes.
Kind of similar to that. I like that.
So when Newman requests, "I want my helmet back," Kramer comes up with this line that I know you love to say all the time.
Yeah, you better think again, Mojambo.
Who is this Mojambo?
I don't know. Do you know the origin? Is this a Michael?
I tried to Google it. There's a video game character named Mojambo, but there's no real life person that I could find. So I'd like to know where this name came from.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I think Michael also says Mojamba.
Monjamba, yeah.
Is that here or is that later?
Later.
Yeah. He has sort of variations on this word.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, fatso.
Newman seeks Jerry's counsel. Jerry, and of course, Jerry's not going to side with Newman. Buyer beware.
Right. Kramer does say, "Hey, Newman, I'm not going to pay for your ticket because, in life there are no guarantees."
Yeah, but there's Karma Kramer.
Karma Kramer?
The way this dialogue is now, you got three people now in on it, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's one thing to have that ping pong between two people, but when it's three or more,
it's so well done.
Good stuff. And as you mentioned, Vinny, there was that deleted line, I guess, as Newman leaves, "Hey, I'm not coming to your party," but that's what he does. He storms out. Angry Kramer won't pay for the ticket and give him back his helmet, but now he's not coming to his party. He's going to throw his own New Year's Eve party. So let's go over to NBC Studios. This was such an exciting thing to see when I visited New York for the first time about 10 years ago. And I went to Rockefeller, and they have that sign that says Rainbow Room on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Oh, so exciting to see. Because I think I always attribute it to this episode or this, Seinfeld world.
Right. So it became very popular in 30 Rock as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I've never seen 30 Rock. Is it too late to get into it?
No, I'm rewatching it right now, and I'm loving it.
Uh-huh.
Well, because I watched Kimmy Schmidt, and that made me want to go after more Tina Fey stuff. So I'm rewatching 30 Rock, and it's solid.
Nice. In this scene here, Jerry and George are kind of like in a waiting room. They're waiting to meet with the NBC execs, and Jerry's looking pretty calm, pretty confident. I like seeing not cocky Jerry, but just Jerry that's having a good
loose.
time. Mm-hmm.
Salsa. You got the salsa after the salsa. He's loving it.
This reminds me a lot of real life Jerry. I'm sure real life Jerry gets nervous and anxious at times, but a lot of interviews, he just seems to be very like cool headed and just very like in control of his emotions. And
he does the meditation. He eats right. I don't know. I think all that attributes to him just being so centered.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it all.
And also, building a career, hundreds of millions of dollars based on getting up in front of people and talking to them. Like he says in his stand-up, that's like the number one fear.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's conquered that, I think that's given him just a lot of, confidence and
of course,
what have you. Does it look like, real quick, that Jerry's wearing like a master's jacket? Is that what they call, the green jacket they hand out?
Yeah.
I know nothing about golf. I only know that from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. And Curb.
And Curb, yeah.
Yeah, well, the master's jacket is green. I didn't notice that in particular. It may be.
It's a very green. It's a very early 90s green. A lot of solid colors this episode. But George is panicking while Jerry is pretty calm and collected. George isn't sure why he's there. There's even a point here where they're arguing and George actually smacks Jerry right on the forehead, a la Frank.
I was going to say, did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like father, like son?
It's crazy. And that was before they cast George's father.
Right. We have yet to see either of George's actor fathers. John Randolph plays the first father. But John Randolph also hits George in the head. So that's part of Frank Costanza's character. When they reshot the scene, Jerry Stiller also smacked him on the forehead. Estelle does it as well.
Yes. I think that was Jason's idea, wasn't it, to be smacked by his dad?
I think so, or yes.
There's like a story, I think Jerry Stiller was like, oh no, I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't hit you. And Jason's like, no, go ahead, like just hit me. Like,
lay into me.
So Jerry tries to calm George down. And he's like, hey, they're just TV execs. That great line from George. I feel like we're seeing the real inner George at this moment. He's like, they're men with jobs. They wear suits and ties. They're married. They have secretaries.
Well, he had such confidence in the coffee shop saying, we go into NDC. And he was walking around, strutting his stuff. And now he's just crumbling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what calms him down?
Water.
It's pretty good. Did you notice any of the posters on the wall?
I did. I have one of them down, but I was going to come back later.
Okay. I did see Fresh Prince.
Yes.
A Nightmare... Blossom. I saw Blossom. And A Nightmare Cafe. I think that's the one that we're going to get to here in a minute. Joe Davola is looking at it. But I didn't notice any others other than the one you're about to mention.
I don't know if you can see it clearly in this scene, but in a later scene, and it's actually in the ticket when Jerry is talking to his mom on the phone and he's having to explain why he was, quote, rude to Uncle Leo. You see in the poster to his right, it's called Reasonable Doubt, and it is a show that starred Mark Harmon and the very own Marlee Matlin, who played Laura the Lineswoman in the Lip Reader.
She's a BL.
A lot of L's.
Good call. That's weird then. So is she on the poster?
She's on the poster. She's looking right at you.
So Jerry, would he have to be like, hey, you kind of look like that girl from Reasonable Doubts.
Reasonable?
Reasonable? Leaving for no reason. So suddenly Jerry notices this real unusual looking guy over by one of the posters.
Oh, God, it's Joe Davola. Who? This guy's a writer. He's a total nut. I think he goes to the same shrink as Elaine. Oh, God, he saw me.
Hello, Jerry.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
You're under no obligation to shake my hand.
Oh, no, just a custom. That's my friend George. You look good.
Why shouldn't I look good?
No reason. You do the karate, right?
Hey, you want to hit me?
What are you doing here?
Drop the script off.
Oh, good for you. Well.
You don't have to say anything.
No, hey, I guess see you Sunday night.
Why?
Kramer's party.
Kramer's having a party?
No, he's not having a party. He's doing something. I don't know what. It's nothing. He's not doing anything.
Gee, I thought Kramer and I were very close friends.
No, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're very close friends. Very close. Give my best to Hinckley.
So here's another wonderful character. We only get him for 5 episodes. He's in The Pitch, Ticket, Watch, Opera, and Pilot. Crazy Joe Davola is played by actor Peter Crombie. And man, I wish this guy would have come back more. He makes such a great adversary for both, actually for everybody. Elaine, Jerry, Kramer, and I guess George as well.
Yeah.
But damn, he's awesome. Peter Crombie plays Crazy Joe Davola. The name Joe Davola is the name of an actual TV executive who is a friend of Larry David's.
Oh.
Other movies or projects that Peter Crombie was in: My Dog Skip, Rising Sun, Natural Born Killers, Seven, and the last thing he did was Walker, Texas Ranger back in 2000.
Oh wow! So he kind of stepped away from acting.
Yeah, hasn't done anything since.
Huh? Yeah, he's really good. This is a pretty scary character, maybe the scariest character out of anyone really, especially the opera episode when Elaine is in his apartment. That is. I don't know if that's a Larry Charles episode, but this character and that kind of scene just seems straight from the mind of Larry Charles, how dark it is. But I like him here, though, especially how nice Jerry is, like in contrast to him. Jerry's throwing him all these softballs, just trying to be like, hey, let's have a nice conversation.
He's Jerry's uncomfortable, but he's trying to make it not awkward and just get through it.
Yes.
But as we'll see, he slips and divulges some information he shouldn't.
What party is this, by the way, that Kramer's
party. We don't know if it's a New Year's party. It's around, September now? So it can't be a New Year's party.
Maybe it's...
You can have a party, just have a party.
Yeah, that's true.
As Jerry lets this information slip, you see Joe kind of have this tick where he grabs his temple and he looks off. Kramer's having a party. And that's when Jerry starts backpedaling. No, he's not. I don't know what he's doing. But you see as he walks off, Joe looks like he's up to something. Like he's really pissed that Kramer went behind his back and has his party.
Oh yeah.
And Jerry makes this line which is really a funny line, and I'm surprised he would say it because if Joe heard him, Joe would probably come back.
The elevator door is probably just closed.
Hopefully, but Jerry says, "Give my best to Hinckley." And when I saw this as a kid, I didn't get this line because I didn't know who Hinckley was, but he's the guy who attempted to assassinate Ronald Reagan in 1981.
Yep. So
here's one of those nice historical references kind of, put into the show that I think everybody gets. But I, as a kid, I'm like, who's this fella?
I don't know, if this is entirely accurate, but I always heard that he was inspired by the Travis Bickle character in Taxi Driver, Robert De Niro's character who tries to kill a politician. Okay. But yeah, that's just a perfect name. And Jerry is smiling a little bit too when he says it.
Yeah.
So, Jerry again can't believe what he just said, and he's like, "Oh, I got to call Kramer because this sick nut, is probably violent, potentially violent." Jerry assumes
he knows karate.
But right as he picks up the phone, a secretary turns the corner and says, "Hey, the execs are ready for you."
So Julie Blum plays the receptionist. She is the receptionist in The Pitch, The Ticket, and The Virgin. Cue your music, because she also plays a waitress in The Invitations, so double dipper.
You double dipped the chip. Double dipped? What are you talking about?
Seinfeld was her first acting credit. She's also in the pilot for Curb Your Enthusiasm. She plays an HBO production team member.
This is the one that didn't air with season 1. It's
on the DVD.
Episode 0.
Correct. Mm-hmm. She's in The Beloved Aunt, and she plays Iris in The TiVo Guy.
Oh my God.
So she's the hostess at that restaurant.
That's nuts. So she's a double dipper in the Seinfeld world, and she's a triple dipper of sorts in Curb.
Yes, I did not even think of that.
Wow. Yeah. Unbelievable.
She's also, she was in That 70s Show, Everybody Loves Raymond, Becker, Just Shoot Me, Grounded for Life, Entourage, Dirt, Damages. She was in 24.
Really?
And she was in Web Therapy.
Quite a career. And
but
obviously,
this is her getting her start. I mean, she just started on Seinfeld, and she blossomed into this mega actress now. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Now, you said her name again was what?
Julie Blum.
Okay, because I have Julie Claire here. I don't know what that's all about.
Blum. So maybe she was married?
Maybe. We'll make sure we get the right name if we do a double dipper image. But that's great, man. Wild stuff.
Yeah.
It's so funny, too, because her role is so minor in the show. They're ready for you.
But it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, my God. I can't imagine, your first break in acting being on Seinfeld.
Oh, I wanted to ask you. This got me thinking. You know how Joe Davola is the name of Larry David's friend?
Yeah.
You got that kind of... Think about that, but then also think about the actor Peter Blood, who plays Jay Crespi. His only acting credit is Seinfeld. So if you had your choice, would you want to have your name immortalized in Seinfeld, or would you want to be a one-time actor and act in a Seinfeld episode?
Well, they're both pretty good choices. I think the vain but I think the vain side more vain side would want to be on Seinfeld because it would be my image. I'd be a canonical character. The name is not too shabby either. That's sort of second place for me.
It lives on forever, though. Joe Davola is more recognizable than...
I feel like that opens a can of worms, though, if you're a character like Joe Davola, or even, remember, was it Michael Costanza, the one that sued Jerry for using his last name? I don't think a show like Seinfeld could ever have a good result of having the same name, because everyone your whole life would be like, oh, you're like that person on Seinfeld.
Exactly.
Sort of the whole Office Space Michael Bolton issue.
True.
But what about you?
Oh, I'd want to be on. I want to show my face.
I think the best role to have, it's a little forgettable, is when in the pilot they're auditioning for Kramer, and they're like, hey, let's see a few more Kramers, and all of these guys just walk through the door. So I guess before we leave the scene, I'll just play a clip here because I love the, again, ping pong back and forth between Jerry and George.
Okay. Look, you do all the talking, okay?
Oh, relax. Who are they?
Yeah. They're not better than me.
Of course not.
Who are they?
They're nobody.
What about me?
What about you?
Why them? Why not me?
Why not you?
I'm just as good as them.
Better.
You really think so?
No.
And then we get this great shot of the door opening, Jerry and George just looking at these 4 TV execs stand up, and then they look at each other. So we get an act break, and we come back. We're in the NBC meeting. This is the big time. Jerry and George look a little uncomfortable, to say the least, but they're all having a laugh at least. Stu Shermack brings up, hey, one of my favorites, keeps it vague, but one of my favorites is the parakeet flying into the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And
now that's funny.
Yeah, part of me is thinking, what the hell is he talking about?
That is actually a real Jerry Seinfeld bit that he did on The Tonight Show. And I just sent you a link, Matt.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
So we're going to post this link to our Facebook page and all of our other various social media pages. But he talks about, your mom puts the mirrors in your house to create a sense of space. And he had a parakeet that would fly around.
Yeah.
Just listen to the clip.
We had a very small living room in my house, which my mother made one wall a mirror. She thought this was a fantastic idea. She's always telling me that this gives you a feeling of space. This makes it seem like you have an entire other room. Now, what kind of a jerk walks up to the mirror and goes, hey, look, there's a whole other room in there. There's a guy in there, looks just like me. Who falls for this? My parakeet would fall for this. They're not that bright parakeets. I had a little parakeet. We used to let him out of the cage sometimes to fly around. And he would fly around. He would fly into the living room, up to the mirror. He would crash his head right into the mirror. I couldn't understand this. Even if he thought it was another room, you'd think he'd at least try and avoid hitting the other parakeet.
Remember the dog where the parakeet flies in the mirror and it's, oh!
You're right. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, that's crazy. I never put that together. Like, I guess I never really thought about what they were talking about. It's more George's reaction, like, yes, yes.
All right, George.
Oh, yeah.
But it's nice that they're injecting real references and real jokes into this show.
Oh, yeah. Creating that continuity. Well, before we get started into the whole, I guess, scene, should we talk about the 2 new characters we're meeting here?
Absolutely. The first one we're going to be introduced to is the president of NBC. Bob Balaban is the actor who plays Russell Dalrymple. I'm not going to smell it. I'm not going to smell it. I'm not going to spell it.
Can I leave that in?
Absolutely. Go ahead. Good Lord. Russell Dalrymple is in the pitch, the ticket, the watch, the shoes, and the pilot. Bob Balaban is also known for Close Encounters of a Third Kind, Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel, Ghost World, Girls, Broad City, Web Therapy. He played Phoebe's dad in Friends. He was also in Midnight Cowboy with John Voight, Boots.
He's in the movie theater.
And another nice little crossover tie-in kind of thing. He played Warren Littlefield, the NBC executive we referenced earlier, in the TV movie The Late Shift, which kind of talked about Johnny Carson and the push to see who would get the next late night spot, either Jay Leno or Dave Letterman.
It's cool to kind of have this, hey, you played this NBC president before, or you'd go on to play the NBC president. I'm not sure when it fell. Probably around this point. I wonder if that had something to do with his casting here. Why not have you jump in? He doesn't seem nearly as kind as Warren Littlefield. Like we were saying before the mics were on, Bob Balaban, he's a short guy. But for someone his size, I've never seen someone more intimidating. Like, he is terrifying.
Oh, he carries himself, yeah.
Oh, man, there's something about this character, Russell Dalrymple, that just scares the hell out of me.
He makes and breaks little worms like us every day.
Right. But you were listing his credits. Yeah, Bob Balaban, I mean, he's been in just so much. I probably know him best from the Christopher Guest movies. He's really good at those slow, almost too real comedies. Mm-hmm. One other character, though, we should mention, right?
Yes. And we're also meeting Susan Ross for the first time. She's played by actress Heidi Swedberg. She would go on, I'm not going to list them all, but she was in 28 episodes of Seinfeld as Susan Ross. And spoilers, there's some good stuff coming that she is a part of. She was also in Hot Shots, Kindergarten Cop, Galaxy Quest, 2 episodes of ER. She was on Becker. And the last thing she did was actually 2010. She was in an episode of Hawthorne. Now she's gone on to become a ukulele player and teacher. She has a website and she does lessons and big group ukulele meetups. And I think that's kind of cool. She shifted from acting to music. I like that.
That blew my mind when we first started this podcast. I was looking up a lot of actors on Twitter, and she still looks the same. Like, she looks great.
Yeah.
And I was completely shocked to see her do this, complete 360.
That's a 180, Matt.
Very good. And I was thinking too, I have a ukulele. You have a ukulele. Mm-hmm. How great would it be if we're ever out in LA to? Because I don't know if she teaches, like she does lessons, or if she just has.
I think she does. Yeah.
Yeah, that would just be so cool to. I don't think we would push it and be like, let's talk about Seinfeld. We would purely go for the ukulele lesson.
No, my ukulele case would be empty, and inside would be Seinfeld stuff and pictures. Sign these, please.
I love the actress. I love the character of Susan. I was shocked to hear what Jason Alexander had to say about her in a recent interview, just about how they didn't really click as actors, which is always a shame to hear. Not that they were fighting or hated each other. They just didn't mesh. Mm-hmm. Can't believe it. How many? 28 episodes?
28. That's it.
Wow.
Not a lot.
That seems like a lot though for someone who, she's only in 2 seasons.
Well, that's actually, you're right, because she's in this season, and then she is gone. Then she comes back for a stint, and then we get her for that full season 7 run. So that makes sense why she'd be in 28 episodes.
Right.
So anyway, Russell asks George, George, have you written anything we might know? And George, on the spot, he lie Rolodex. He's like, well, I wrote an off-Broadway show. Well, it was actually off-Broadway. And it was La Cocina.
Is a comedy about a Mexican chef.
And this is what I love coming up, is that despite George and Jerry being in this huge meeting with NBC executives.
A very serious meeting.
Yes, and Jerry's career is on the line here. He stands to make a lot of money and be famous. He still is going to screw with George. What was, Mexican chef. What was the name of that chef? He still feels the need to do this to his friend, which is great.
Pepe.
Nah.
Oh, Pepe.
Oh, that's right. What was he making on stage?
He cooked tamales.
Okay.
He actually cooked on stage?
That's what was so funny. He mimed it.
He just keeps going.
Yeah.
So good. I did not know this, but La Cocina is Spanish for spring. No, it's Spanish for the kitchen.
Yeah, cool.
The kitchen makes sense. So let's play a little clip here of the meeting.
So what have you two come up with?
Well, we thought about this in a variety of ways, but the basic idea is I would play myself. Go ahead.
I think I can sum up the show for you with one word. Nothing. Nothing? Nothing. What does that mean? The show is about nothing.
Well, it's not about nothing.
No, it's about nothing.
Well, maybe in philosophy, but even nothing is something.
Mr. Dalrymple, your niece is on the phone.
I'll call back. Dalrimpel. Not even close. Is that with a Y? No.
What's the premise?
Well, as I was saying, I would play myself, and as a comedian living in New York, and I have a friend and a neighbor and an ex-girlfriend, which is all true.
Yeah, but nothing happens on the show. You see, it's just like life. You eat, you go shopping, you read, you eat, you read, you go shopping, you read. You read on the show?
Well, I don't know about the reading. We didn't discuss the reading.
All right, tell me about the stories. What kind of stories? Oh, no stories. No stories? So what is it? What did you do today? I got up and came to work. There's a show. That's a show. How is that a show?
Well, maybe something happens to you on the way to work.
No, nothing happens.
Well, something happens.
Well, why am I watching it? Because it's on TV. Not yet. Okay, look. if you want to just keep doing the same old thing, then maybe this idea is not for you. I, for one, am not going to compromise my artistic integrity. And I'll tell you something else. This is the show, and we're not going to change it. Right?
How about this? I manage a circus.
Now George's confidence is overinflated.
A little bit.
And there is a story where Larry David stormed out of a meeting, correct?
Yeah, we never...
I don't know the full story, but there's some sort of myth or legend that he did something very similar to this, and that's why this is in the show.
Yeah, it sort of gets brought up in interviews, like, oh, this guy from SNL, from like leaving the writing session, and he kind of quit, and to Seinfeld of, this is the show, we're not changing it.
He did it in Curb as well. He got up and left a meeting.
Right, and the character in the Curb universe is like, oh, Larry David, he's known for this, walking out of meetings. So I want to say Larry isn't that big of a jerk that he would do something this stupid. I think he just really believed in the material, and he fought for it when most people will just bow down to whatever execs demand. What do you think, though? Does this put you on edge ever when George does this?
I cannot believe I think he's messing with Jerry's career, because George has nothing to lose. He's already kind of pitter-pattering around rock bottom, but
yeah,
this is a big deal for Jerry. And I'm in show business, buddy boy.
I just love that moment where he's like, no, nothing happens. Like he's trying so hard. Another great scene. That we're going to be saying that probably a lot this season because every episode has like an iconic moment.
Get used to it.
Yeah. So we're at Monk's now, and this is after the meeting. Jerry is not looking happy. He's really stressed out. He's just laying into George. He's not artistic, and you have no integrity. And Jerry even says, George, you need a team of Vienna psychiatrists working around the clock, thinking about you, having conferences, observing.
Not the once a week for $80, though.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he actually goes on this season to see a once a week psychiatrist, Dana Foley.
Dana Foley.
The woman, yeah. What's her name?
Well, George does somehow find the silver lining to this whole situation, and that is, hey, I thought the woman was kind of cute. And he thinks he's actually going to give her a call. We're talking about Susan here. He apparently only meets 3 women a year.
Well, but they had good eye contact. She knows his name. They've been introduced. Why not?
He's so desperate. I feel so bad. But it's at this moment, right, where he's thinking about the woman, Susan, calling her, and Jerry realizes, hey, I haven't called Kramer about Joe Davola. And there's this moment where they both look at each other and they like sprint towards the phone.
Yes. No, because George obviously wants to call Susan now.
Yeah.
And did you notice how they're running to the phone? There's a waitress delivering food to a table. She is in front of Jason, but then behind Jerry, and it's perfectly choreographed. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but because they're running fast.
Like she's sort of Frogger in a sense. Like
yeah, she's just going at her pace, and Jason follows right behind her, and then she's behind. I don't know. It's kind of cool the way they map that out.
Oh, nice. I wish the show, again, the sets aren't huge, so there's not a lot of room for that physical comedy, but I wish there was more of that in this show. There's plenty, but I like that image of the two of them just comically running.
Oh, yeah. It makes sense that Jerry would win because of his speed that he had as a kid.
And George's tiny calves.
That's right. Now, and he could have had a pulled hamstring still that wasn't worked out. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
So this scene was originally scripted to end with Jerry and George doing a choose. Remember a choose back from the apartment?
Yeah.
To see who got the phone, which would have been a great way. It would have been a nice callback.
Yeah.
And I like them having this childlike game to seeing who gets to get the phone. George would have won the choose, which would have been nice. And then Jerry would have responded with, you really should think about Vienna.
Oh, man, they should have had that.
That's
in there.
good, that should have stayed in.
But I guess you would have lost the sprint to the phone.
True.
I guess it's just a matter of, hey, what's funnier in the end?
It's a funny show regardless. What do we know?
The choose, though, that's something I wish was brought back from time to time. I thought that would have been a nice reoccurring joke.
Who do you think deserved to get the phone more? I guess who's...
Jerry, yeah, because Kramer's life is in danger. What was George's justification that she could be leaving work?
Exactly.
Oh, just wait till tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we cut to Paris, of all places, which is nice. That kind of links up with the what is it? The raincoats when they go to Paris with the Seinfelds,
as well as the Big Brother program.
The Big Brother. Wouldn't you like to be a Big Brother?
All right. That's enough.
And then the finale as well. I guess Paris does sort of come up from time to time.
Not as much as Sweden, though.
No, that's true. Who's here though? We got Dr. Reston and
Laney,
yeah.
So you got these two people passionately embracing, with Paris in the background, and as you're making out with, I would argue, one of the most beautiful women in the world.
All right, that's enough.
Oh, stop it! Don't judge me. He's thinking about one of his patients, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just wondering if he took his medication."
Right.
It's just weird for a psychiatrist, first of all, to be dating one of his patients, and then in the middle of a makeout session, he's thinking about one of his patients.
He's a weird dude.
Freak. So this weird dude, Dr. Reston, is played by Stephen McCaddy. He's in 4 episodes of Seinfeld: The Pitch, The Ticket, The Wallet, and The Watch. Spectacles, testicles. Okay. He was in 2 episodes of The X-Files. He was in 300, Watchmen. And he was in a few episodes of that new show, The Strain.
Yeah.
That was the one that had the weird teaser posters with like a worm crawling through an eyeball or something.
Yeah, it's like vampires, I think.
Okay. So yeah, that's that.
Cool. You mentioned X-Files. He reminds me a lot of Lance Henriksen. Do you remember that actor? He played Bishop in Aliens, and he had a show called Millennium on Fox, which was a kind of a spin-off tied into the X-Files.
It's not ringing a bell.
Right.
Sorry.
He just kind of has that dark voice and kind of thin, bony face. So we should talk about Julia, I guess, real quick, because this is one of 2 scenes for this hour-long episode. Next time she'll be in Rome. They filmed this, I guess, because she was still on maternity leave.
Yeah. So all of her 2 scenes were done on the same day.
On the same day, yeah. And again, this is the proper beginning for season 4, but the show doesn't feel just right until we get to next week's episode when we see the.
And I can't wait for her reveal too. I don't want to spoil it, but I can't wait for the reveal.
So our next scene is at Jerry's apartment, and here it's Jerry telling Kramer about Davola, who Kramer rightfully is pretty freaked out. He's really concerned, and we get just this great moment here when George arrives. As we did at the beginning of the show. Hello. Did you notice Kramer? He's like startled. He freaks out,
as Kramer would do. Yes.
You remember Susan from NBC?
Of course. How are you?
Fine. Good to see you.
This is Kramer.
Hello.
NBC. All right, go ahead, Susan. Tell him.
Tell me what?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me 1 second. Hello?
Hi. Would you be interested in switching over to TMI long distance service?
Oh, gee, I can't talk right now. Why don't you give me your home number and I'll call you later?
I'm sorry. We're not allowed to do that.
Oh, I guess you don't want people calling you at home.
No.
Well, now you know how I feel.
Go ahead, tell him.
well,
Kramer, are you drinking that milk?
Yeah.
What's the expiration date on that?
September 3rd.
The 3rd?
the third.
So I don't have the list, but apparently Heidi Swedberg auditioned for several roles on Seinfeld before being cast as Susan. I think we may have mentioned in previous episodes.
I forget one of them was big, where we're like, oh wow, that would have been crazy.
Because then we wouldn't have had her as Susan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not ringing a bell.
But
we're such great hosts.
Thank you. Yeah, Susan Ross, the character, is actually based off another friend of Larry's who worked for a TV network. Huh. And another nice bit of trivia is that odd hello that we played just now. That was inspired by Heidi Swedberg. She thought that she knew that Susan was going to be an arcing character coming back for several episodes. She thought she was going to be ending up with Kramer as Kramer's girlfriend, not George, which is why she gives Kramer the hello.
Hello.
Which I don't get. I know that bit of trivia, but there must be some info we're just not privy to. Did someone come up to her and say, you're going to wind up with Kramer by the end?
Maybe that was abandoned story. Maybe that was an abandoned storyline.
Could be, yeah. And rightfully, she would have tried to plant the seed here. But To me, Susan's hello always came off as like George told her about him. Like, he's a really weird guy. Like, hello, I've heard a lot about you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Would you have liked to see that, though? Susan and Kramer?
No.
Yeah.
Although it makes sense because Kramer's he will end up stealing Susan's girlfriend in a later episode.
That's true. And she comes to really not like him. She's like, he's not going to be an usher. He'd fall or something.
First he vomits on me, then he burns down my father's cabin, then he steals Mona away from me, and then he would fall or something at her wedding.
Yeah, no reason to like Kramer.
So the other
and he doesn't remember her name.
That's right. She looks like a lily. Oh man. They don't belong together. So the other portion of this clip that we just played, Jerry picks up the phone, and probably one of the most applauded moments, the crowd just eats it up.
Yeah.
I guess everybody's frustrated with telemarketers calling and bugging you during dinner. And the way that Jerry handles the situation by hanging up on this telemarketer is just revered by the crowd. It goes nuts for it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The voice of that telemarketer is Jerry stand-in, Deck McKenzie.
Ah.
His voice is kind of becoming more recognizable now.
Have a beer, Charlie.
There it is.
We've talked about Deck quite a bit. He was in Parking Space, the Trip, Part 2. He's one of the reporters.
He'll come back.
Yeah, for sure. Comes back a few times. I always hate it when they bring up like certain dates in TV shows because you're like, well, when does this take place? I get kind of thrown by the dates. This is kind of accurate because they say the 3rd, which would mean this episode aired on the 16th?
Correct.
So about 2 weeks almost.
After the expiration date.
Which That's is
perfect.
Also a bit of Jerry's stand-up, right? Like, you're terrified about the milk, distribution levels.
Do we not have enough milk? Do we have too much milk? It's a great bit. And then he's like, I wonder how they get those expiration dates. Maybe they ask the cows when they're milking them. July 3rd.
So we now cut to Monk's, and we're in the. I guess this is the last scene of the pitch before we transition into the ticket. Jerry and George are kind of sitting in defeat. George was, just really upset now that he brought Susan up to Jerry's apartment and she got puked on. That's a funny word.
Yeah, I'm going to use that.
Yeah. George brought Susan up to tell Jerry that she was championing the show. So she also is like a Rick Ludwin-esque character. And that Susan actually liked George. So he was, a twofer right there. But Jerry thinks, hey, just because Susan got puked on doesn't mean the deal is dead. George argues it's a traumatic thing to be thrown up on.
I was thrown up on once.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This was recent.
No.
Yeah.
Was I recently thrown up on?
Wasn't it your nephew?
Oh, yeah. I was thrown up on twice then. I'm thinking of a grade school throw up.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Oh, one was in grade school, during one of our music, like one of those, you stand on the risers as a class and you sing songs. I was in the middle riser, guy above me, threw up on me. Boom, I'm out of the show, which is nice. I got to miss the show. And then recently I went out to dinner with brother, sister, and kids. And my nephew just projectiled all over me.
God.
It was awesome.
How old? He wasn't like a baby, though, wasn't he?
No, he was like 9.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Man, you get all the luck. They get into a little bit here about, getting thrown up on. And Jerry's like, hey, even if Hitler had vomited on Chamberlain, Chamberlain still would have given him Czechoslovakia.
Chamberlain, good old head in the toilet. He still gave you half of Europe.
I feel like this is that Larry David history degree at work.
University of Maryland, yep.
So we kind of wrap up the scene with Kramer here, entering with Newman's helmet, and he's acting a bit dazed.
It's got a big dent in it.
Yeah, it turns out Davola came after him. And what's the story here?
So Kramer's walking home. He went to pick up his helmet because he got a new strap. And as he was checking the strap out, he puts the helmet on, and he feels this kick hit him on the side of the head. It knocks him down, and he looks up, and it's Crazy Joe Davola. And he says, that's what I think of your party.
That image, you sent me a screen grab of Kramer, just pushing his head down on the table. And
Michael's eyes are wide.
Yeah, God, it's just so good. So good.
But Kramer has bad news for Jerry. Davola says, you're next.
Ugh, yikes. Why? Why me?
And now we got some after me.
Yeah, he doesn't like him at all. But, getting to the helmet real quick, it's kind of ironic how, Kramer, this helmet saved his life. When he's not even on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird, though. Jerry kind of goes on a rant. He's like, this is all Elaine's fault. I'm like, whoa, why is this Elaine's fault?
Well, it kind of makes sense because he doesn't have his medication.
But how did he know that?
Yeah, you're right, because it has been... We don't know yet that... Oh, that's an excellent point.
He knows that's Joe's psychiatrist.
Do we know that Dr. Reston is the psychiatrist of Joe DeVolo?
Yeah, because Jerry said it
he's on
earlier.
medication. Okay,
Yeah,
you're right.
He knows he's on medication, and he knows, he's like, yeah, I think it's the same psychiatrist that Elaine goes to.
Oh, okay, good.
So there's... Okay. But that's a big leap to say he can't get his medication.
True. You're right.
I think. I don't know. Unless we're missing something here.
Something's missing, all right.
But at this point, Kramer asks for some cream, and George, this is a very typical, I feel like, Seinfeld, like, last beat moment.
Yeah.
George opens the cream canister to check it, and then hands it to Kramer.
And Kramer puts it in his milk. He takes a sip of the milk. And is there any way we can play that slurp sound?
Okay.
Because it's so funny, and I feel like only Michael could pull this off. And it's so funny that I think it catches Jason off guard, and he stares at Michael, and Michael does this look because he knows what he just did was pretty funny. I don't know. It's a fun slurp.
Okay, here's the slurp. I do like those moments, though, when you can tell the scene is over, but Michael is still doing something more than anything for the audience, I feel. And they just decide to leave it in. All right, so let's, we're at the official halfway mark. We'll try to edit some of this episode down, but I think we might clock in at 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot there's stand-up to end.
Yeah, well, stand-up, here we go.
When you vomit on somebody, it is a social faux pas from which there is really no recovery. At that point, there's really very little you can say to the person. There's no Hallmark cards that cover this occasion. There's no vomit sympathy card section of the store, You wear it well. There's no words that really capture, Next time, lunch is on me. There's no really way to phrase the sentiment.
Yeah, did you ever get a vomit sympathy card from your nephew?
No, I did not.
Did you pay for the dry cleaning?
Yes, I did.
Oh, wow, look at you. Yeah, good stand-up. I like this.
So I'm actually gonna go on a limb here and say I don't like this for world's first. For the reason of it feels like there's no definitive ending to this bit. It kind of just ends, and I'm expecting the joke to keep going and have this big punchline, and it just ends with there's no real way to phrase a sentiment, and it fades out.
Mm-hmm. It is more. It's one of those filler stand-ups. Where they're kind of like, okay, we need something here. We can't just go to commercial. And I wonder if this is, for syndicated viewers, is this the opening stand-up for the ticket? But no, would that make sense? Yeah, it would have to, because you need to set up the whole vomit arc for the ticket.
So maybe this, even though it's the end on the DVD, it may not be the end in syndication.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Interesting.
Which is maybe why they can get away with it being a little short, because, hey, we need to get into the episode.
But I want more.
So we're at Jerry's apartment, and, even though this is an hour-long episode, you feel like you're in episode 2 at this point.
Yep.
There's some weird vibe. But in this, Jerry's looking through the sofa, looking for his remote. Kind of, I know I'm jumping ahead here, kind of ties into the whole wallet thing.
Yes,
right?
It does. Yeah, good call.
Which we haven't gotten to yet, and will get paid off in the final, or the finale for season 4. But Kramer enters, and we get this pretty funny visual of just one pant leg on, the other one kind of just dangling there.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry calls him out on it, and Kramer's surprised. He doesn't remember, or understand why he would only put one pant leg on. And what else has going on is
he only shaved the one side of his face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching these scenes, and it's with such fondness because I know what's coming, both in this episode as well as in this season. Like I'm giddy with I have unbridled enthusiasm because I know what's coming.
In particular, the noise Kramer makes when he looks in the bathroom mirror.
That's one for starters.
Should we play that?
Sure.
What is that? Between that and the guy that's just a head?
Shrunken head, yes.
Oh. Let's play them back to back here, actually. Yeah, I don't know which one I like more.
So I got another continuity thing, which I think is worth discussing.
What do you got?
Kramer's wearing boxers.
Oh my God.
Now,
I didn't think of that.
in the Hamptons, he recommends silk underwear to Jerry. In the Chinese Woman episode, he says that he needs the secure packaging of jockeys.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a lot going on here. And then there's is that also the Chinese Woman when he's like, I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute of it?
Yep.
Yeah, with Kramer, it's bathing habits and it's underwear. A lot of contradictions. Oh, money too. Sort of, right? Like, didn't he say, I only carry hundreds?
That's right.
And then he's like, big bill on the outside. It's a five. One thing Kramer's lacking in his life, consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So Jerry buzzes up George, and he, is a little concerned about Kramer's behavior, the shave, the pant leg. He thinks that this had something to do with Joe Davola's kick to the head that we just discussed earlier, and he should probably go, see a doctor, get some x-rays.
Speaking of that kick to the head, Matt, this is now the third time that Kramer has suffered some sort of head trauma that we know of. He got hit in the head when he fell due to Mary Hart's voice because he had a seizure. He got hit in the head with a foul ball at Yankee Stadium.
Oh my God.
And now he's got kicked in the head by Crazy Joe Davola.
I never put those together.
So he's been through a lot.
Yeah. Are there any more head injuries? The one that just comes to mind is when he rearranges Jerry's apartment in that cold open. And he walks across the couch and hits his head.
So we're seeing a pattern here. Maybe that's part of why he's not all there.
Yeah. So George enters. He's got some stubble in the scene. Speaking of beards,
he's hip.
Yeah, hip.
It's hip to have the stubble nowadays.
I guess. I was always just too lazy to shave.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the allure.
Yeah. All right. Good look, though. He's got that yellow jacket on. There's a lot of, I mentioned earlier, primary colors.
Yes.
Between Jerry's green and red jacket, you have George's yellow jacket here. Yellow jacket. He hands Kramer a dry cleaning bill from Susan for vomiting on her vest. They all go back and forth here about who should pay for this dry cleaning bill. But they all decide to, chip in for $18. I don't really see why Jerry's to blame.
Well, Jerry's the one who let the milk expire. Kramer's the one who drank the milk and ended up throwing up on Susan. Mm-hmm. George is the one who brought Susan up to the apartment. So they're all somewhat at fault. Who do you think is most at fault?
Oh, Kramer.
Kramer?
He was the vomiteur.
True. But she was right in the way. He was going for the sink. He was trying to be a good guy, and she was in the way.
I never thought of it, but that visual of Susan, kind of like, is similar
recoiling in horror.
It's like same setting when in the Blood, when Jerry hits the scalpel and heads up.
That's true.
Yeah, very similar situation. You're not supposed to look up.
Hey, also more suede being ruined on Seinfeld.
What was the other one?
Suede jacket.
Oh my God, come on.
These cows can't catch a break.
Come on, we're suede.
Let us in.
So there's this moment here. We don't need to set it up that much, but Kramer kind of interrupts the conversation by saying,
Yo-yo ma.
Right. He's a cellist. Yeah, so something's not right in Kramer's mind here. He's saying yo-yo ma, but later in, what was the Hamptons? Doesn't he use yo-yo ma as sort of a pleasure?
Yes, gratification. When he sees Jane topless.
Yes.
Yo-yo ma. He slows it down.
Mm-hmm. Well, they get back to this whole Susan thing here. When Susan sends them the bill, they assume that means that things aren't boding well for the show.
Right.
George even says, hey, we should take it to another network, which that seems very Larry David.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's like that angry Ted Danson side of him, very spiteful. So the phone rings and Kramer answers it. I always thought this was gibberish.
I thought it was Italian, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. But it's, again, more than anything, it's that Michael Richards kind of take on a foreign language.
And according to the script, Michael is speaking Swedish, another reference to Sweden.
Right.
But I can't make out one word of it. It's brilliant, and only Michael can do this, as you said.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect that it's Swedish in the script because it backs up our theory, which I'm sure some listeners have picked up on before, that Kramer had some history in Sweden, and it gets brought up almost every season.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jerry takes the phone from Kramer, really concerned, nice guy Jerry.
Yeah.
He feels really bad for Kramer, and I feel kind of bad for Kramer too. He's so helpless. He just sort of shuffles off to his apartment while Jerry's like, hey, go lay down. And I think he says, I'll call the doctor for you.
Yeah, he's going to make an appointment for him.
Right. So Jerry talks to the person on the other line. It's NBC, and they want to schedule another meeting about the idea.
NBC! They want to have another meeting about the idea!
They want to have another meeting! They want to buy it! They want to buy it! What did I tell you? We're going to be rich! What are we going to get for this? 50, 60,000?
I don't know about 60.
Oh, it's got to be 50. You know how much Ted Danson makes? Huh?
Ted Danson. Now, how are you comparing us to Ted Danson?
I didn't say we're Ted Danson.
You did. You said we're Ted Danson. I think he wears a piece.
Yeah, don't worry. He can afford it.
So this is I think the first mention of Ted Danson on Seinfeld. Because he was supposed to be in the trip.
Right.
Instead of George Wendt.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
This is the first time, but not the last time.
You assume Larry and Ted know each other, right? For him to kind of... I think it's almost like he's paying tribute to him. The fact that he... Right? No? Yes?
I'm only shaking my head because I don't know. It's weird. I get the feeling like he put the joke in there as sort of just an in-network joke. But I wonder if that led to a friendship.
Yeah, I'd like to know which came first. And the fact that he makes that joke, I think he wears a piece. That's, I think, bold to put that out there.
But as a bald man, don't you have the right to criticize other people, or at least,
that is our
slander?
Term. Yes.
And to be fair, it's pretty obvious when you watch Cheers that there's something going on up there. But next scene, it's a little bit of continuity here. We go right to the street, that classic strip, right, of like the
fruit stand.
Fruit stand, Almo's, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I always thought that Jerry and George kind of looked like ketchup and mustard here, like just those very primary colors. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anyways, they're heading out. They're probably going to catch a subway when Jerry realizes that the watch his parents gave him is 10 minutes slow again, and he just chucks it in the garbage can. And we get that line from I feel like that's always in like a last week on Seinfeld. That's it with this piece of junk. I've had it.
Yeah.
Isn't that the watch your parents gave you? So they decide to hail a cab, since they're running late. And George doesn't want to take it because, he just claims it's not about the money.
What is it you object to? The comfort, the speed, the convenience? So there we go. George can't pay for parking or cabs. It's a sickness.
It really is. And speaking of sickness, man, 7-8 years, getting around the city, I never take a cab.
You never took a cab. Yeah.
I still don't. Like, I'll walk or I'll take the subway.
That Uber is becoming very big now. I've ridden in some Ubers with friends, and it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Nice drivers too. They're not
very nice. There's bottled water. They rate you. It's a give and take.
I'll rate you. You catch that one?
Yeah,
It's Always Sunny. Okay.
They actually rate the customers not as well as the drivers. You'll get a poor rating, and people won't come pick you up. So you got to be on your good behavior.
Goes both ways. Suddenly, we get one of the first recurring characters.
Jerry!
Uncle Leo!
Hello! Aw, Len Lesser.
Jerry!
Uncle Leo!
Hello!
Hello there!
How are you?
Good.
How's Mom and Dad?
Good, fine.
What are you getting to be? Too much of a big shot now to give me a call? I don't hear from you anymore.
Oh, no, I've been kind of busy, that's all.
You know where I just came from? Danny Barber.
Oh, sure, Danny.
He used to be in the pajama business. Remember I used to get my pajamas for free? I used to come over and give you pajamas all the time.
Yeah, I remember.
The funny thing is, I can't wear them. I get too hot. I sleep in my underwear and a T-shirt. If it gets too hot, I just take the T-shirt off. Anyway, Danny says to me, you need any pajamas?
I'm sorry, Uncle Leo. I really got to get going.
Oh, well, you got to get going, so go.
We got a big meeting with the president of NBC.
Nobody got a gun to your head.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Go, really, I understand. You got an appointment. Go to your appointment.
I'm sorry, really.
You know, I know plenty of people in Hollywood, too.
Sorry, really.
But to be fair, though, it is incredibly rude of Uncle Leo, I think, to be, like, making Jerry feel bad.
Yeah, Jerry's more than polite with him. He's being very honest. He's like, I'm sorry, Uncle Leo, we gotta go. But we're also, you know how we love to bring up real, full names that have been mentioned in the Seinerverse. But Leo said, "Hey, remember my friend Danny Barber? He used to make pajamas for me. Remember he used to get pajamas?" And then he's going off on this tangent about how I can't sleep in them. I get too hot, so I take it off, or then I get too cold, blah blah blah. And that's when Jerry, says I gotta go, and that's when Uncle Leo gets upset.
He's probably heard it so much of his life. I bet people coming up with excuses for why they got to get out of there.
Hence the arm grabbing.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, I like that last line too. I know plenty of people in Hollywood too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And right at the end here, of course, Uncle Leo notices that nice shiny watch in the trash, and he takes it out, puts it on, and he walks off. Any connection there?
I'm thinking of an eclair.
There you go. I never put that together. That just it only hit me when I was writing out my notes. Like he grabs it out of the trash can. Mm-hmm. What's worse, taking a eclair out of the garbage, but that's inside, in someone's apartment,
above the rim,
on a little doily thing, or taking garbage out of a trash can,
public trash,
public New York City, and wearing it.
Well, if you look in the trash can, the watch it looked like it's in an egg carton, so it had a nice buffer, and it looked clean. So it must have been just discarded as it was. True. So I don't know. I'd say the watch is less offensive.
I think most people would agree with you. It's just I'm sort of showing my hand for when we get to that eclair episode, because I don't
go on.
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
But anyways, I feel so dirty.
In my family, we used to eat off the floor all the time.
So we cut back to not Kramer's apartment, but the hallway. Newman is dressed in a suit, and he knocks on Kramer's door, who's in the middle of shaving the other side of his face. Newman told him, "Hey, I need you to go with me to the courthouse because I'm contesting the ticket." Kramer was going to go to the doctor, but Newman needs him as his alibi. He has to take the stand, and I just wanted to play this little portion here because we're getting that Newman tension.
Well, let me remind you of something. You wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for me and my helmet. I saved your life. You would be dead. Dead. You would cease to exist. You'd be gone for the rest of eternity. Can you even begin to comprehend what that means? Shut up.
Get my coat. Don't step on it.
There's something about the way Michael says, "Shut up."
Yeah.
That it's perfect.
Yes. I love that. And I feel like that's another ad-lib line at the end where he's like, "Don't step on anything."
Yeah.
Because on the other side of that door, there's nothing. Maybe a painting on the wall and a chair on the floor. But so a little bit of stand-up.
There are many things that I think you can point to as proof that the humans are not smart. But my personal favorite would have to be that we had to invent the helmet. What was happening apparently was that we were involved in a lot of activities that were cracking our heads. We chose not to avoid doing these activities, but instead to come up with some sort of device to help us continue enjoying our head-cracking lifestyles. The helmet. Even that didn't work because not enough people were wearing them, so we had to come up with the helmet law, which is even stupider. The idea behind the helmet law is to preserve a brain whose judgment is so poor, it does not even try to stop the cracking of the head it's in.
This one in particular is verbatim from his stand-up. And the phraseology is identical each time he does this joke. So if you listen to, there's the I'm Telling You for the Last Time DVD, and then there's the CD, which are both different versions of the show. Yeah. There's subtle differences, but they're shows. But the whole continue to enjoy our head cracking lifestyles. Everything is worded in that way, and he says it the same each time.
Yeah, this is that polished material.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
This is the stand-up also where you see an extremely wide shot of the stage, and you can see there's an overhang, and there are things hanging off of these beams, I guess.
It must be like some kind of scaffolding or something for the set, I would assume.
Yeah.
So we're now back at the NBC sort of lobby waiting room, At this point, though, I think George is doing a little bit better. He's not nearly as nervous as before.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry here is complaining about Uncle Leo and how there's never an excuse good enough to walk away from a conversation with one of his relatives.
Jerry's pretty peeved, but George can only think of himself. So his response is about
shaving.
The shaving, yeah.
Yeah. Do you relate to this, though? His is... I shaved yesterday afternoon. It's a long story. I think it's that whole issue of being off with your schedule.
Agree. Yeah, your pattern gets interrupted, and I don't like a fresh shave. I don't like that clean look.
Me either.
You like a little bit of stubble. So I dread when, oh man, I got to go into work and shave. I think most guys can relate to this.
Yes, absolutely. There was something I think brought up in. I think it was the Jimmy when George is like, he's still sweating after the shower.
Yeah.
It's like the shower didn't take. It's that kind of feeling of just being off. Mm-hmm.
And Jerry asks, why? Why you fall off schedule? He's like, because I shaved yesterday in the afternoon because of the day before. It's a long story. I'd like to know what that story is that's so long that he,
Considering George is doing nothing,
Yeah.
What was so important? Jerry, for a moment here, thinks he sees Joe Davola and panics. Rightfully
Not
so.
him. Yeah.
Right, because Joe's after Jerry at this point, right?
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, though, George does promise, hey, I'm going to be a little bit more flexible on the nothing idea.
A little,
yeah. We're doing a lot of bouncing back and forth here, but we go to the courthouse, and Newman and Kramer are waiting to be escorted into court, and Newman explains the story he needs Kramer to tell. This is what he told the cop. Mm-hmm. He was rushing home because Kramer was about to commit suicide, which is, again, pretty dark, I think, but it works.
They've
totally.
done it before. They've discussed suicide before.
They have, and even Newman, we met the character off screen because he was going to kill himself.
That's right.
But so that's the idea. Now they have to come up with the reason. Why was I trying to kill myself? And this reminded me a lot of the whole Marissa Tomei George thing with Elaine. Like, what was the reason? Why were we getting together?
Oh, yes, yes.
Coming up with a lie.
The best possible lie.
Mm-hmm. And then there's it gets revisited in the Wait Out later in season 7 when Jerry and Elaine are figuring out, all right, why are we calling David and Beth Lookner?
Yeah,
calling. Why are we calling? This is, I think, just that Larry David idea of two people coming up with a good lie.
Mm-hmm. So the first one is, I never had an air conditioner.
Right.
And Newman dismisses that immediately. That's no good.
He's like, I've slept in plenty of hot rooms. I've never wanted to kill myself.
Well, I've slept in plenty of hot rooms, and I've wanted to kill myself.
Right. And just out of nowhere, Kramer's like, I wanted to kill myself because I never became a banker.
Yeah, a banker. So you're killing yourself because your dreams of becoming a banker have gone unfulfilled. You can't live without being a banker.
You must be a banker.
I must be a banker. Okay, we'll go with the banker story.
What happened there? Like,
I have no idea.
I thought this would go on more like the similar to the pitch, in the bar with George and Jerry. There'd be a few ideas, but Newman just latches onto that immediately.
It's not that good an idea.
It really isn't. We get an act break, come back, and here we are, meeting number 2 with the NBC execs. And just like before, George's classic scene about the show's about nothing. We get this.
Story is the foundation of all entertainment. You must have a good story, otherwise it's just masturbation. And people really have to care about the characters. Yeah, forget about care. Love. They have to love the characters. Otherwise, why would they keep tuning in?
Wouldn't tune in.
Would they tune in?
No tune.
We like to look at a show as if it were an EKG. You have your highs and your lows, and it goes up and down. This show will be like a heart attack.
Just a huge, massive coronary.
So what you said last week about no story, you're a little flexible on that now. Is that what I said? No story? Because Jerry had to tell me later.
He couldn't believe it.
I said, get out of here. No story. Is that what I said?
Who says that?
Which part?
So that first sentence out of George's mouth, you must have a good story, otherwise it's just masturbation. Where do you come up with those words, and how do they arrive in the same sentence?
No idea, but the expression on everyone's face, especially Jay Crespi, is like,
did he really just say that?
Yeah. Real quick, too, before I forget, does Jay Crespi remind you of French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Ever since I first saw him, I think it was the finale first, but I always thought that was French Stewart. Anyways.
Who actually will be in a Seinfeld episode.
He will. Good
Yeah.
call. Well, back to the masturbation.
Okay.
Probably the most significant thing about this scene is that line and how it relates to the contest, right?
Yeah, because in the contest, they go to great lengths to not say that word, and they have to find clever ways to disguise it and let the audience member know what they're talking about without saying the actual word. Here, it's just blurted out.
Right. And I think this is the only time masturbation is ever said, that specific word is said on Seinfeld.
Think you're right? I'm not positive on that.
It's kind of baffling because the contest, not being allowed to use that word, if you allowed it to be used just, 4 or 5 episodes prior, why are you having a problem with it later down the line? Maybe because the entire show...
Yes. And each character is performing that act and they're betting, you know what I mean? Like, it's putting that visual into the audience's head. This is what they're doing versus you're just talking about it in general. I think that's what makes it worse and why they can get away with it here.
It's the term here, I think, that is offensive, not the the actual act, if that makes sense.
Correct. It's the fact that George brings this up in company, with NBC executives in this big meeting. He's blurting out masturbation.
Larry David always had that great story of, okay, I need the one breast. Can I have the one breast?
Yes.
Or I need the one penis. Can I have
Working
the one
the
penis?
censors.
Mm-hmm. Back to the courtroom. I don't think we need to really go over this that much because it's really just witnesses recapping what Newman's already explained.
I would like to just talk about who the witnesses are.
Yeah, let's do this. So this is the ticketing officer, and he's on the stand. Newman was flailing his arms about, threw himself on the ground, grabbed him around the legs, and begged him to let him go, screaming, "My friend's going to die. My friend's going to die."
Yeah, so that's cop number 1, and he's played by actor Steve Easton. And this is another actor who gets cast in a lot of law enforcement roles. I'm not going to go into all of them because he's been in a lot of cool movies and TV shows, so I'm going to talk about those instead. Catch Me If You Can, Up in the Air, Con Air, Matchstick Men. He was in 3 episodes of Dexter. He's the umpire in Austin Powers. When they're doing those play on...
Two balls!
Two ball, yep. He was in Melrose Place, Field of Dreams, and Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
That's an interesting movie, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, because Pam is in that movie.
Pam?
She's the quote-unquote love interest.
Oh, okay. And then, I didn't know that. Yeah. And then we have the judge, played by actor Al Fan. He was in The French Connection, The Fisher King, Naked Gun 2.5. He did voice work on Alvin and the Chipmunks. And then get this. This is the cool part. He was in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He played Wanda's dad in the Crazy Eyes Killer episode.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. And he was also in an episode of The Michael Richards Show.
I love the Crazy Eyes Killer episode.
Oh, that's got to be a top 5 Curb.
Good research, my friend.
Thank you.
Nice job. So we're back at NBC, and the meeting wraps up. Russell tells Jerry and George, "Hey, we want to be in business. You want to do this?
We'd like to do business with you. Let's do business.
Yeah.
Have some business.
This is business.
Let's do business."
However, though, Stu asks for a copy of La Cucina, but...
And the puzzled look on both George and Jerry's face says it all. and they're like, what is he talking about? Finally, Jerry remembers, oh, your off-Broadway play.
Ah, yes. Well, George moved recently, and all of his files disappeared.
It's the damnedest thing. He says that a lot, George, when he's trying to get through it. It's the damnedest thing. I went out the window again to get a cup of coffee.
Just matter-of-factly. And he keeps going. He could have just said, I lost all my files. But he then says, I don't know if they fell off the truck or if there was foul play involved. I am not through with that moving company.
This I value. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, he does. These people don't care. The idea, though, of boxes or files missing reminds me of the label maker with Scott.
Yeah.
When he moved his stuff and he never got his boxes.
You know what that means? Freebies!
Wow. Russell brings this all back to Susan, though, and he just says, hey, I'm placing a lot of trust in Susan's judgment. Judgment.
Oh, that's a big pile of judgment.
Yeah,
sure.
Judgment with earrings on. So really, this whole show is resting on her and her reputation. They all shake hands, and that's that. Back to the courtroom, Newman's on the stand, and he's explaining his story. What is his excuse here?
Well, he'd gone up to Westchester. He goes there every Tuesday. He does charity for the blind in his spare time. He was in the middle of Parcheesi with an old blind man. He's really emphasizing the blind.
Wayne Knight's just acting here is so good.
Man, he's killing it in this episode.
He waits and he just looks at other people, and emphasizes those words.
He goes on to talk about how it had been Kramer's lifelong dream to be a banker, and he'd been turned down by another bank. The manufacturer's Hanover on Lexington and 40th Street. He's like, George, you got to have good details to make the lie believable.
Oh, you really did. Great parallels. I never picked up on that before between George and Newman, or just these two, lying.
It's a shame they didn't go at it more. I think of the calzone when they went at it. That, like they had more of a connection.
Yes.
But it would have been nice for them to either team up or feud more throughout the show.
Oh, Newman and George.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Those are two characters that never really paired off that often.
But anyway, Newman wanted to check on his friend. He wanted to see if he was doing well. But, Your Honor, he was barely audible. I distinctly recall him saying,
Yo-yo ma. And I have to play the clip here. This is when Wayne Knight's acting just reaches that pinnacle.
Hit it.
Yes, I admit I was speeding, but it was to save a man's life. A close friend, an innocent person who wanted nothing more out of life than to love, to be loved, and to be a banker.
So then he didn't kill himself?
No, sir, he did not, but only by the grace of God. He is in the courtroom today, sitting right over there. And he can corroborate my entire testimony.
I might have spoken too soon. This is not where Wayne Knight's acting reaches the pinnacle, but I just like his delivery. Certain lines there.
Sing it.
Back to NBC. Jerry and George exit the meeting. They are over the moon. They start hugging. Hey, a rare sight.
Rare hug.
But they suddenly realize, now all we have to do is write it.
How are we going to do that?
I love that. I love that realizing. Real quick, if we haven't gone on long enough, that visual of them leaving the NBC office, we see it again, don't we? In the finale. When they meet with the new president and they get the, another offer of doing a pilot.
That's right.
And there's that visual, and I am so stupid that I never realized this. They're kind of silent. They're out in the waiting room. And they're like, yes. And they go in for a hug and they stop.
Yeah.
And they pull back and they walk away. Now, I always interpreted that as sort of like a little homophobic, like, oh, we're guys, we don't hug. That is, I think, Larry David's commentary on the whole no hugging.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To
I
literally,
see where you're coming from.
It's almost like the characters stop themselves because they're like, wait, that's not what kind of show this is.
Or you could even look at it as, I'm sure they didn't read into it, but when they did hug this instance, it didn't work out for them. The show did not get picked up. So maybe if we don't hug,
they've been down this road before. Why are we
grasping
gonna
at straws here.
No, I think that's valid. Why are we going to celebrate when we know what a pain this was last time? Well, at this point, Jerry, gets a phone call. Turns out it's his mom who wants to know what happened with Uncle Leo.
That's pretty impressive for Helen to track down NBC exec phone number and get in touch with Jerry directly.
Considering later she's like, where can I get some ice? Your father likes a lot of ice.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sending you $50.
Yeah. But it does feel very Helen to want to know, like, what did you say to him? It's her brother.
That's right.
Susan has already come out to congratulate Jerry and George, but we get this great back and forth between George and Susan.
when you sent me the bill for the dry cleaning, I thought the show didn't have a chance.
Oh, it was only vomit.
Anyway, I would like to pay for the dry cleaning.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh, no. We all chipped in. We have the money.
Well, it was $18.
Okay, $18, and there it is. There you go. Right. So maybe we could get together this weekend.
Yeah, call me.
All right, great.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. I can't believe she took the money.
Why?
I offered to pay. She should have said no.
She did. You insisted.
Maybe this is what the pilot should be about, vomiting on somebody's vest. How much are we going to get for this, 50, 60,000?
Oh, I don't know.
We got to get 50, All right, I tell you what, we go to the coffee shop, you call your manager, maybe they made an offer.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
What a putz George is. He says, we have the money for the, dry cleaning. Susan says, no, that's okay. And then George insists, as Jerry says, and she takes it. Now, remember when George says, I don't know what episode it's in, but when he takes a woman out, he would like just for them to reach for the check. All he wants is a reach. Is that so hard to ask? This is the equivalent of a reach. She's saying, no, it's okay. And because George pushes, like he wants her to just shut him down completely and not take the money, But what else does he want? It's frustrating.
It is, and it's one of those things where what is George looking for in this situation? Like, does she have to get angry at him and be like, "No, I'm not going to take the money"?
Yeah, you can't win.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's one of these things that I think ties into Larry David on Curb, where Cheryl says, not everyone knows your rules, like what
That's
you're
true.
expecting.
You're right. And what makes it so funny is that his rules tend to be very fluid and are never set in stone. It's always what's convenient for him.
Absolutely, he's
Yes, that is a good system.
Well, George is a little giddy at the end of the scene because he might have, lost $6, but he can't wait to find out what they're going to be making for this pilot. And we cut to Monks when George finds out, hey, we're only making $13,000.
A piece?
No, for both.
It's insulting.
Yeah. It's all subjective here because I'm like, wow, $13,000, that's great. But I can see why your expectations would be really high because it's NBC. Your friend is a very successful comedian.
True.
But
when you're unknown, never been tested writers.
Yes. The worst part about it all is that Ted Danson makes $800,000 an episode for Cheers. George can't live knowing Ted Danson makes that much more than him, Who's he?
He's somebody.
Well, what about me?
You're nobody.
Why him? Why not me?
He's good. You're not.
I'm better than him.
You're worse. You're much, much worse.
Jerry spots Joe Davola outside and panics, and they crouch down in the booth. You think Joe's really out there, or is Jerry just imagining it?
I think Jerry's just looking over his shoulder. He's worried, given what's happened to Kramer. But I don't think he's really out there.
Well, we get a break on the other side of the world. We're in Rome here. Elaine is making out with Dr. Reston again in front of that open window.
And yet again, he's thinking about Joe Davola.
He's fairly certain that he forgot to leave him an extra prescription for his medication. He could be dangerous. Elaine looks pretty pissed off in this scene.
Oh, yeah. She got the eye roll with the head turn.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we talked about this earlier, but do you like these little Elaine moments, or do you think this episode could have done without them?
It's nice that she's still part of the story, part of the family. I like that she's in there. Of course, they could have probably done without it, but it does add a layer to the whole Joel Davola storyline. And it's going to pay off later when Elaine and Joe Davola eventually date.
That's true.
Full circle.
These, I think Jerry mentioned it in one of the interviews, that the first 4 or 5 episodes of the season, starting with the pitch, like go right into the next one. Like they're all connected.
Yeah, it's like one big movie.
Back to Monks, Jerry and George are still crouched down in the booth, and Jerry isn't sure what to do since he has to take Kramer to the doctor when they spot a cop sitting at the counter. And Jerry, goes up to him and says, hey, can you escort me outside to catch a cab since there's a guy waiting out there that wants to beat him up?
He's kind of a nut.
Well, the cop will help him, but he's like, hey, let me get a muffin first. And Jerry goes back to the booth and he's like, wait a second. He's ordering food from the menu now.
What are you doing? What are you ordering food now?
Yeah, I decided to get a sandwich.
What happened to the muffin?
I got a little hungry.
All of a sudden, you get hungry?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
No. Enjoy your lunch. You know, a muffin can be very filling. He's getting a sandwich now.
I thought he was just going to have a muffin.
All of a sudden, he gets hungry.
You know, a muffin can be very filling.
I know.
I'm playing so many clips because the actors, particularly Jerry here, just they say things a certain way that's so funny. So I can't describe it.
We can't do it justice with this rinky-dink thing we got going on here.
Oh, you can do it. Which one stands out for you?
All of a sudden, he gets hungry.
You got anything on this cop character?
I got a lot.
What do you got?
Cop number 2 is played by David Graff. I think most of us will know him as the beloved Tackleberry from the Police Academy movies.
Yeah, sure.
I really want to revisit those. I remember enjoying those as a kid.
Mission to Moscow?
Yeah. Did you know he actually passed away in 2001?
Yes, I did know that. And I thought he was way too young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was it really 2001?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
I know. He was in an episode of MASH, Night Court, Quantum Leap, Doogie Howser, Family Matters, Home Improvement, Martin, Becker, Arliss, The West Wing, and I think he was a triple dipper in that show Step by Step. It was a TGIF show.
Yeah?
He played 3 different characters in 3 different episodes.
Wow.
And I also remember him as Alice's boyfriend in the Brady Bunch movie. He was the butcher.
Yeah, he played Sam.
Yeah. I like that character.
They're always like fooling around, right? Like they have a very kinky relationship.
They can't keep their hands off each other, but it's really wholesome still.
Do you think I took you to those Police Academy movies for fun? I didn't hear anybody laughing. All right, back to the courtroom. This time Kramer's on the stand, and he's telling everyone about, when his father took him to the bank as a kid, lifted him up, pointed to the teller and said, "Sonny boy, take a good look at him. That's going to be you someday." We should also mention here, I guess, Newman is sort of acting as his own lawyer. Very strange.
I never noticed that.
Very strange setup here. Like, there's no prosecution. It's just him contesting the ticket. Mm-hmm. Even though he's not like the main lawyer in JFK, he's still in the courtroom, jacket off. He's sweating a bit.
Suspenders.
Yes. Newman gets a little ahead of himself here. He starts pressuring Kramer, why did you fail at becoming a banker? Was it because, you hated your father and you'd do anything to displease him? And this keeps going on and on. Even the judge is like, can you get to the point?
And Wayne Knight's performance reaches that crescendo you were talking about earlier, Matt.
And then, on the afternoon of September 10th, you received a phone call, did you not?
Phone call?
Yes, a phone call.
From who?
From me.
From you?
Yes, from me. From me. I called you, remember?
Called me?
Yes, I called you, you idiot, because you were going to. What? Remember? You were going to do something. To yourself? You're going to do something yourself? Remember the banking? The banking wasn't working out the banking.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to call an agent.
Yes, a banker. What a banker? You're right.
That's enough, Mr.
Your Honor, Mr. Kramer's obviously very distraught.
I'm distraught.
You shut up. I demand a recess so that I can take him outside and help him regain his composure.
That'll be $75.
What's the matter with you, jerk? We had it all worked out.
Michael is so good at making himself wide and rigid as he's falling or, being a goof, because he manages to take down the flagpole when he goes down, and his feet go up in the air. He's like a dead grasshopper or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure. He really locks up. Those. You ever see those fainting goats?
Yes.
They're like,
I love this.
and they just fall over stiff as a board.
Mm-hmm.
The flag, he nearly knocks out the judge too.
Yeah.
That actor's like, hey. What? Here, though, even though we've seen Kramer and Newman together in 2 episodes, Newman, I guess, was in the the boyfriend, the suicide, and the parking space briefly.
Right.
This is Newman's 5th appearance. Then this is, I feel like, the scene, the episode where you really get that these two go really well together.
Yeah.
visually, physically, even emotionally, because Newman is just getting hysterical, and Kramer just gets hysterical right with him.
I'm distraught.
Ooh! Back to Monks. Jerry and George still hiding out from Davola. I think it's night at this point.
Yeah.
So they've been there for a while.
The scene originally opened with George and Jerry playing paper football on top of the table, which I thought would have been a nice touch.
Yeah, nice little visual. I like, though, that the tension is still high. They haven't changed, moved, done anything, I guess, since they first spotted Joe.
Don't you think the police officer, upon Jerry's request, could have placed his order for a sandwich, walked Jerry out to a cab, come back into Monk's, and then proceeded to wait for his dinner?
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. Serve and protect, man.
It makes sense if he's like, hey, I'm just going to order a muffin.
That
real
I
quick.
get.
Totally. Give me a second. But to be like, I'm on my break, or I'm on, I just got off work. Leave me alone.
Yeah. So anyway.
No, that's a really good point, actually.
Annoyed me.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned the muffin. We mentioned the sandwich. Now he's getting coffee. So he's really settling in there.
Yeah.
Jerry confronts him again, and he's like, hey, you're just going to have to wait, which is when Kramer and Newman enter, I guess, after the courtroom scene. And they're a little freaked out by Davola possibly being outside, but I guess they didn't see him. Like, there's no real resolution here, which makes me believe,
he's out there,
yeah, you're right, that Jerry just imagined this.
So you're going to do the freak show, huh?
Jerry, yours is $11.
$11 for what?
Muffin sandwich and coffee.
Hey, NBC okayed our idea. We're gonna make the pilot.
Gonna do the circus freak show, huh?
No.
Pilot, so what do you make for something like that? 50, 60,000?
What's the difference? The money's not important.
Hey, Newman, is that your red car?
Yeah.
I think you're getting a ticket.
Run,
run.
Go! Hey, what are you doing? It's after 6 o'clock. You can't give me a ticket. Hey, you're not gonna get away with this. I'll fight this. I got witnesses.
I saw the whole thing!
I think this whole thing would be a good idea for the pilot.
Get out of here. The vomiting is much funnier.
Oh, like you know what you're talking about.
No, you do.
So the very order that the cop put in is the same thing that Jerry had.
Oh, yeah.
Did you just... Are you messing with me?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, right?
I'm an idiot. What can I say?
I didn't pick up on it either until... Like, that's the joke.
Good night, everyone.
A lot of callbacks in this episode. And again, with, originally, George is like, what are we going to make? 50, 60,000, And, of course, he's let down when he hears it's 13. Then Newman asks, oh, what are you going to make for that? 50, 60,000, right? And George's like, it's not about the money.
It's not important.
So,
this is just a total aside, but I love when Newman is just kind of looking at them. He's like, wow, what do you make for something like that? 50, 60,000? He has this very glazed look on his face. It's
same thing with, hey, George, nice hat. Can I try it on?
Yes. Very similar.
Now, Jerry notices, Newman's getting, hey, I think you're getting a ticket. And then Newman flies off the handle. Maybe this is the origin of Newman becoming the scofflaw.
Yes.
Because he got a speeding ticket and a parking ticket in this episode, and he probably just couldn't take it anymore.
Absolutely. I like to imagine the cop out there is the one with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Writing him the ticket. And they...
Mr. Kramer.
Yes. But in the scofflaw, does that cop know that it's Newman? He just knows the car, I think, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So to
give him the slip time and time again.
Right. So in this situation, he got a speeding ticket and he gets a parking ticket.
Yep.
And is the deal with the cop though in the scofflaw that he's not paying his tickets, or is it that he's writing him a ticket and he peels out?
I think they're just unpaid.
They're unpaid.
And he can't be caught or got to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the best callback of all, the same ending in the pitch, or at least when Jerry and George walk out they're walking out of the bar.
Yes.
In the pitch. But here, they're walking out of Monk's, and it's the same, what you're talking about.
No,
like
you do. Yes. As much as I like the Jerry and George playful stuff that we saw on the trip, I love it when they go at it.
Yeah. A little confrontation is nice.
Yeah, a little, sorry to use the term, but like ball busting kind of, like just going at each other. Love that. It really makes them feel like brothers, I feel. So yeah, just a great episode, and of course we have to close it out like we do all the time with some stand-up.
Well, many states in the country now have traffic school when you have an infraction. I went to traffic school. I didn't mind it. I kind of felt bad for the traffic school instructor. This guy goes to traffic school every day, no matter how he drives. What is his incentive to not speed? He's going to traffic school anyway. Why not get a race car? Do 200 miles an hour down the street. Cop stops you. Where are you going? Traffic school. Go ahead. And you better hurry. You really need it. Maybe the punishment should be, instead of traffic school or traffic court, just traffic. They sentence you to 100 hours of traffic. They assign like 5 people to drive all around you at 5 miles an hour wherever you go. You're on your way to Vegas. There isn't a car in sight. Come on, move it!
So sadly, as much as I love this episode, don't care for the stand-up. It's okay, but
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I agree. It's okay.
Again, that's only to say like when
like we know.
Yeah, like we know, of course. We could do better. But anyways, you want to move on to our ratings?
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
So we're going to change up our ratings portion a little bit this time. Instead of, Vinny goes, then I go, we're just going to talk together to save a little bit of time on this already bloated episode. Vinny, just overall thoughts. Did you like this episode? I think you did.
Oh, yeah, loved it.
But in particular, was there anything that really stood out as like a highlight?
I didn't realize how much Wayne Knight stole the show in this. I feel like he not carried this episode, but damn, he was on fire. And his energy was electric, and we get the emergence of Joe Davola, which is really cool. What about you?
I feel the same way. Newman definitely kind of rose up more than I remembered, but there's nothing really specific in this hour-long episode that just stands out as, the all-time best. I'm just so excited for the pilot business to get started. I like the NBC meetings probably the most.
The episode is so all-around good. And the fact that it's setting up for, what's in store for us, I think is what makes it so great.
Right.
And all these precursors to, you got the, opera with Joe Davola. You got Dr. Reston's thing with Elaine. And that great scene when Elaine is having Kramer pretend to be your boyfriend. And you got George and Susan getting together. And you got the build up to the pilot. So you got all these things. They're laying the groundwork. And it's so exciting. And I think that's what makes this episode so wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aside from the nice story, the scene, seeing the pitch, seeing kind of what it must have been like for Jerry and Larry to go through this situation with NBC. It's very enjoyable. It's again, I think we said this earlier. It's like getting a little peek behind the curtain, but with a little bit of comedy and a little bit of story along with it.
Let's not forget too. I said earlier how there's nothing really that stands out. If there is a scene that stands out more than anything, it's the diner scene coming up with.
Oh, yeah.
Show about nothing and salsa and seltzer. I mean, that to me is arguably one of the most classic scenes, so I misspoke earlier. But yeah, this whole show, it exists really as one big story. It's not like, you have a Kramer story, you have a Lane story. It's not like 4 different people occupying.
It's a 47-minute episode, so it's really like a small little movie.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And did you notice all the scene jumping?
Oh, yeah, a lot of it. A lot of cutting.
A lot of guest stars as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who also, each guest, like you said, each guest star had very nice delivery of lines, and really, each one was perfect for their respective roles.
Now, is there anything you didn't really care for? I know it's hard for you to say anything bad about.
I don't like to say anything bad about someone.
No. You can nitpick if you want to. Desperately grab at something like, I didn't like this guy's outfit, or.
Well, when there's a storyline or episode lacking Elaine, I like to have her mixing it up with the boys. So I always miss when she's there, but she's coming. So that would be my biggest gripe with the episode.
You're like, I'm okay.
I'll be okay.
For me, the stuff in the courtroom drags a little bit.
I agree. There's not much comedy there, but is that the point?
Yeah, we, for a podcast that just overanalyzes everything, I feel like we kind of glossed over the courtroom stuff as much as we could because
and for good reason.
Yeah, it's a little repetitive. We've heard a lot of it before. It's really all about Wayne Knight's performance.
Yeah. I had no notes for the courtroom scenes as well. You know what I mean? Like usually I'll have something to talk about, but I had nothing.
But yeah, that's probably the only thing that I have any issue with is the courtroom stuff.
Yeah.
And again, the Elaine stuff, you miss her, but I mean, come on,
she'll be there.
She'll be back.
I could wait.
Now, I guess moving on to if we're gonna rate this episode, we had a bit of a discussion during our season 1 through 3 recap where we didn't know if we wanted to retire the rating system or come up with something new. We heard from a lot of listeners, and the overall consensus was keep the ratings, don't change them, despite the number system making no sense whatsoever or having no consistency. Since we give out mainly 8 to 9s out of 10. So how about we keep our rating system, but maybe we can add something to it. The only term I've come up with, or I guess we've come up with, is chef recommends.
How about if a episode is kind of iffy, that could be a buyer beware.
Oh yeah, that's true. I like that. Well, we have a whole army of listeners here. Maybe they could help us out. What we're looking for, to be specific, is 4 different rating terms. So we need a rating term for that episode that we don't like, in fact, maybe even hate. Vinny, I know you have one that's coming up this season that you can't stand.
Yes, I do.
So we need a term for that, a Seinfeld term. Then we need the next level up would be an episode that we didn't really care for. We didn't hate it, but it's an episode we would never choose to watch on our own. Then the next one above that would be just an overall good episode, pretty strong. And then the top one would be an all-time classic. This is for your Chinese restaurant, your Subway, boyfriend, those kind of episodes. So some kind of Seinfeld term.
How about a peach?
What's that?
A peach.
So yeah, anyways, if everyone wants to just send in their suggestions on Twitter, Facebook, email, whatever, give us a term and where you think what kind of rating that should be. Am I explaining this clearly?
Whatever. But in the meantime, let's give it a classic review from what we're used to doing.
Sure.
Matt, go.
I'm going to give it 9 suede vests covered in spoiled milk vomit out of 10.
There you go. And I'm going to give it 9 psychiatrists working around the clock thinking about George, having conferences, observing George, like they did with the Elephant Man, out of 10.
Excellent.
Does that work? All right, I guess that's going to do it for us on this week's edition of Seincast. Please send us an email if you like, seincast@gmail.com. We're on Tumblr, we're on Pinterest, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter.
One more. Instagram.
Damn. Every time.
Almost. We're also on iTunes, and if everyone could check us out there, leave us a rating and review. We'd really appreciate it. We've gotten so many kind words from listeners, and it's nice to see those. So thank you very much if you've left one. So, Vinny, what episode are we discussing next week?
We're discussing the 5th episode of Season 4, The Wallet.
I think you're wrong.
Well, we'll just see.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
I just said that.
I know you did.
So good for you.
So good for you.
What, are you repeating everything I'm saying?
What, are you repeating everything I'm saying?
Well, Vinny is an idiot.
Well, Vinny...
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. The official Seinfeld site can be found at sonypictures.com/TV/Seinfeld. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Are you going to give me back that helmet or not?
No, we had a deal. There's no guarantees in life.
No, but there's karma, Kramer.
Karma, Kramer?